What's up, everybody? Welcome to GameFace, episode 447 on Sifted Games at sifted.net. We're right here at twitch.tv/siftedgames and youtube.com/siftedgames. And we're about to talk about all the biggest stories and games from Gamescom 2025. And alongside me to do that, as always, is Matt Keil. How's it going, Matt?
All right.
Better than I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Actually, this computer just booted up fast. So, the ongoing saga of our PC continues. I had set up the PC to not restart for like 2 months, and then the power went out here, and so it did restart, and as soon as I got in here, I restarted it, everything came up. It took 45 minutes for the PC to load up. It did, and right before we go live, the PC crashed. And so I just restarted it, and we're gonna just see how it goes.
Yeah, still thinking about...
Oh, it won't let me type in yet.
Still thinking about letting you type.
So, the way it's looking right now, probably, we're not going to be able to bring you guys into the show for about another hour or so. So, unfortunately, we can't thank you guys for Twitch Prime. We can't even see the chat right now, honestly. I think Matt has it on his phone, but obviously he can't keep checking there. So, if any of you guys have given us Twitch Prime before the show started, thank you.
So much of the screen is taken up by nonsense.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that also happens with Twitch. So anyway, our usual back and forth. It may not start until about halfway into the show. It still won't let me put in the password for the computer yet. So anyway, unfortunately, we have some technical issues for GameFace today. First of all, thanks to you guys for showing up today, because we normally do the show on Tuesdays, but because of Jeff Keighley's big thing and Gamescom kicking off yesterday, we wanted to push the show by a day. I apologize, by the way. I should have figured that out last week and talked about it on last week's episode. I should have had that all lined up instead of looking at it post-haste and realizing, hey, we should probably push the show a day. So, anyway, the good news is this show's going to be way more timely, because otherwise we'd be talking about Gamescom like 8 days after it had happened, and a lot of you guys wouldn't care. So, day later, much more timely, much more interesting. GameFace episode 447 here on a Wednesday at twitch.tv/siftedgames and youtube.com/siftedgames. Matt, how's your week been?
All right.
Yeah?
I haven't really played much.
No?
I did finish Ghost of Tsushima on PC.
Oh, you did?
Mostly because I wanted the hard drive space back.
How many times have you finished that game now?
Twice.
Oh, just once on console, once on PC?
Yeah. And I had never finished the Iki Island stuff, the DLC, which is pretty good.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, they did some interesting... There's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that you got to remember.
How long did it take you to get through that?
Just the DLC?
Yeah.
I would say like 9 hours.
9 hours. Wow, that's impressive.
Like doing everything.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. How much was that? Do you remember?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think I got it. Well, I didn't pay separate for it for the PC version. I think it was like part of the upgrade. Was it $19.99?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Sounds about right for how much you got to play it.
Because it was like part of the upgrade to PS5.
Yeah.
Like you could buy that bundled with the PS5 upgrade or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was individually.
Yeah, for games this week, it was kind of slow. I played some games that we're going to talk about on the show today. I don't know how happy you guys are going to be about it, though, because they're both sports games. One of them is Madden, the new Madden. And look, I understand you guys aren't huge sports fans. I'm not going to talk about these games for very long on the show. But we're going to talk about the new Madden, Madden 26, and we're going to talk about Switch 2's exclusive Drag X Drive, Drag Crash Drive. I don't know exactly what it's supposed to be called, but it's Nintendo's wheelchair basketball game for Switch 2 that plays with crazy motion controls using the pointer controls on the Switch 2. We're going to talk about that today. But most of the show today is going to be about Gamescom, because there was just a ton of stuff shown. There's a ton of stuff to talk about. The show floor obviously already happened. If you're on sifted.net, we already have all that stuff curated, sitting there for you, ready to watch at your leisure, so you didn't have to watch Jeff Keighley's big 2-hour extravaganza yesterday. Another 2 hours, Matt, of Jeff Keighley shows. So anyway, that's what Sifted is there for. And again, as I always say, you can basically sort our website by whatever you want. If you just want to check out the first-person shooters from Gamescom, just go to our first-person shooter channel. If you just want to check out Japanese games from Gamescom, go to our Japanese channel. If you just want to check out all the big free-to-play games, you get what I'm saying here. You can do stuff on Sifted you can't do anywhere else. You can save yourself a ton of time. events like right now with Gamescom, not E3, Tokyo Game Show, all that stuff, SIFTD is the best place on the internet to go. I promise you, you will not find a better destination. I know that. So anyway, I know yesterday a bunch of people were on the site checking out all the trailers. I will say this. Jeff Keighley can generate news.
Yeah.
It's really, like, I got done work. I can't even tell you how hard I worked yesterday. Like, it literally just almost killed me. I was like, I can't do this anymore. Trying to get through like 500 pieces of content and get it up on the site and everything. It was just an awful day. Just work from wall to wall.
You should just let ChatGPT do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what
everything wrong.
Matt, that's what I'm saying. Is like, why doesn't AI do that? Like, what? Like, here's, for example, I use Windows 11 all day, every day.
There's a real answer to that. Because that's an actual task that requires work.
And reasoning.
And that's not what algorithms do.
Yeah. It's like, why can't Windows 11 and its AI watch what I do every day and say, hey, Shane, I noticed that you do this literally 100 times a day. How about I take that off your plate for you, bro?
Because that's not what AI can do.
That's what AI should be, though, is what I'm getting at.
Right, well, right, but that would actually be artificial intelligence.
It would be, yeah.
Not a buzzword
not spitting out something.
Buzzword applied to LLM algorithms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By the way, there's a lot of stuff coming out today of a bunch of stuff. It reset again.
Yep. We'll see how it goes.
It's letting you type.
We'll see in another 40 minutes.
A lot of stuff coming out today. Like Meta is shrinking its AI division.
Oh, really?
Including eliminating some executive jobs, so you know it's serious.
Mm.
There was a new article in about that 95% of AI startups are turning into zombie companies. Which means that basically you start these AI startup things, these pilot things, basically. And this is largely true of companies that are starting their own AI algorithm, not like ones that are trying to like start up and like use ChatGPT for something, right. Which seems like a bad business model.
Wait a minute,
right? But like the pilot program. So basically, what's happening, and there's a lot of examples of this, where the idea is to create a new AI thing and then get bought by one of the big guys, usually Meta or Google.
You get bought for a couple $100 million.
Right, exactly.
Everyone's happy.
But increasingly, what's happening is the sale doesn't go through, but the founders and executives of the company make a deal with Google or Meta or whoever to get brought on as multi-million-dollar consultants, and they leave what's called the zombie corporation behind to rot. And there's a story in there.
Or they buy them out, so they leave the competitor behind.
Well, I mean, that's essentially the same thing.
It kind of is the same
thing.
Them
not to work anywhere else,
pretty
basically.
much, and not work on their old product. Yeah.
And there's a story about, I can't remember the name of it's just another generic AI startup name, but basically the entire executive wing basically left for Google. And that left a 39-year-old systems engineer to become the new CEO. And his whole job was basically breaking the news to all the people who had worked their asses off and now were going to get nothing. And he said most of the day was spent breaking the news and watching employees cry because they basically ruined their lives and their families, and they were going to get nothing.
Wow.
So
Apple stock keeps getting hammered because it doesn't have AI.
That is the best. That is one of the best early examples of why AI was not going to work. Was when Apple looked at LLMs and was like,
"No, that's not good enough.
We're just not going to do that."
Because it messaged that it was gonna.
Yeah.
And now here we are 2 years later, and it keeps saying it's not ready.
Right. Well, because it's like we're not going to do that until it's something that we think is worthy of what we're going to call it, and it hasn't happened yet because there's either a wall or there's just. It's going to be a while before that's figured out, and if it is figured out, it's going to be figured out in China. It is,
yeah. No, you're right.
They're way ahead of us on this.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the people working on this stuff in China are actually trying to make useful tools and not get rich quick schemes, which is sort of a key element to this.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bubble's popping.
It feels that way.
Like AI is not going to go away. Like because the people are talking about like there's a new the FDA just approved a new thing where it's a wearable, which is for weight loss. It's the first glucose monitor thing like that's been approved by the FDA for weight loss use, not diabetic use, and it kind of works in tandem if you're taking Ozempic or whatever kind of thing. But it uses an AI to track your glucose levels, and of course. It's just a tool. It's just an algorithm. It's not even an LLM, really. It's just we call every kind of computer tool an LLM, or an AI now.
I know.
Like if Photoshop,
if it's an algorithm, it's
if
AI.
Photoshop added the lasso tool today, it would be called AI.
You're right.
The AI rope or something. It
right.
just doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
To the point that if anyone actually does invent sentient AI, we're going to have to come up with a different name for it.
Yeah, you're right. It won't be artificial intelligence,
No,
even though it finally will be.
That will be what it is. We'll have to call it like computer sentience or
Right,
something.
yeah.
It'll have to be something else.
I love how Luna's just cruising all over the table today.
Yeah.
She hasn't really shown up for a while into the show.
She makes her own choices.
Yeah. Well, look, people, welcome to GameFace, episode 447 on SIFTD Games at SIFTD.net. As you see right there below us, head on over to patreon.com/SIFTD. Give us a pledge for just $5 a month. You get all our content early. For $2 a month, you get Pactor Factor early. But here's the thing. If you don't have any money, you can still help us if you are an Amazon Prime subscriber. And you will get Pactor Factor a week early at our Twitch channel. If you're watching on YouTube right now, all our subscribers and patrons already know about it. But if you're new to the show, watching on YouTube, go down below. In the description down below, it explains how to hook up your accounts, connect your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and then it teaches you how to go and subscribe to our channel every month. It is a pain in the butt. They have to do it every month. I think our subscribers and patrons just have like reminders set up in their phones at this point to do it. But if you haven't done it for a while, it'd be great if you go and help us out. Like, that's not extra money. We need that money to keep doing the show. So if you like GameFace and you want to see it continue, either head to patreon.com/SIFTD or hook us up with Twitch Prime, or just like the show, review the show, leave a comment for the show. This isn't working anymore, by the way. People on YouTube have stopped leaving comments for the show. It feels like we push for something, it happens for like a week and a half, and then people stop doing it. It's very frustrating. But anyway, we'd appreciate it if you guys could take a minute. It literally takes like a minute to give us $2 every month. We'd really appreciate it. It makes a big difference for us. So thank you very much. Again, head on over to patreon.com/SIFTD. Yeah, it's been a chill week as far as playing games, Matt, but I'm preparing. Another thing I should say before, a reminder that next week's show is happening on Tuesday. It's normal day. And then the week after that, which would be the day after Labor Day, there is no GameFace. And it's not going to be delayed by a day or two. There is just no episode that week at all. I am finally taking my first time off for this entire year. And it really amounts to 3 work days. I'll be gone Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. And then I get back on Wednesday. And anyway, I'm piling up a bunch of content to run while I'm gone. For those of you who like Ask Shane Anything, please go and ask me questions for that show right now, because I need to bank some episodes of that and like record them tomorrow to run while I'm gone. So if you could head on over there, go to SIFTD.net. In the header, there's a link. It'll take you to our forums where you can ask me questions. That'd be great as well. It'd make a big difference for me as far as getting all the content ready for my little short vacation I'm taking around Labor Day. So GameFace happening next week, not happening the week after, and then we'll be back the week after that. And when we come back, we have a special surprise for you guys. I believe it's on September 8th. So anyway, some housekeeping to get out of the way so you guys know what's going on here with GameFace. As it worked out, we're still going to have 4 or 5 episodes in August because our first episode of this month was on like August 1st or whatever. So you're still getting your full allotment of GameFace episodes for the month. You're not missing out on anything. The timing has worked out perfect with Labor Day weekend. And I hope you guys take some time off for Labor Day as well. We're all working hard, not just me. And you really need to take some time to reset yourself a little bit.
I mean, that's an American thing.
What?
Labor Day.
It is, yeah. Do they not have Labor Day in, like, I'm sure it's not the same day, but...
No, they have what's called actual vacation.
No, right, because everybody gets like 6 weeks of vacation everywhere else. I get no paid vacation.
I did learn about sandwich leave this week.
What's that?
That is a policy that some companies follow, where if you take your days off on like Fridays or Mondays or Friday and Monday, they will count Saturday and Sunday as paid time off for you and take it out of your leave budget because you're getting a longer weekend.
Yeah.
And I just would like to say that if a company did that to me, I would burn the building to the ground.
Me too. It's brutal here, man.
Because what else is it's like, oh, it's for like this and morale and keep up productivity. I'm like, yeah, so I'm going to take Thursday off instead and half-ass it on Friday because you were a fucking asshole, and then go to the... Yeah, that'll be great for productivity, you fucking moron. If you don't live in America, you really do not understand how fucking broken some of the people's brains are here in the corporate
I think people
world.
Are starting to see it now, Matt.
Well, now that it's running the fucking government, yeah, here you go. Like, here's the kind of geniuses... You want to know why there's like an actual full genre of media about how much it sucks working in an office in America?
Right.
Because of the people you're looking at in the cabinet right now. Those are the people you answer to in corporate America.
Yeah. They're buffoons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're rich, and so they can do whatever
Right,
the hell
you
they
can't do
want.
anything about it. Well, you could. When I was in corporate America, I would just yell at them
Yeah.
because I was too important to get rid of.
Right. Well, they knew everything would fall apart if they didn't have us.
Right.
It's like you can find TV producers that are a dime a dozen here.
I know for a fact that at least 3 times someone asked if they could fire me, and the answer was basically no. We can't. We can't do it.
Things
without
will
it.
end if that happens. Yeah, I hear you. All right, well, we're just about to kick off our analysis of Gamescom 2025, but before we do that, here is a word from our sponsor, LS Cream.
LS Cream is a fine cream liqueur created by fellow gamer and sifter Stevens Charles. It's inspired by an ancestral recipe from Haiti called Cray Mass, and a double gold winner for its original taste at the New York Wine and Spirit International Competition. LS Cream can be enjoyed on the rocks or as a mixer for drinks with its rich blend of fresh cream and neutral grain spirits with notes of coconut, vanilla, cinnamon, and nutmeg. It's great in coffee or to make espresso martinis. To learn more, discover amazing drink recipes, or to track down your own bottle using a handy store locator, head to creamls.com/sifted. That's creamls.com/sifted.
That's right, people. Go to creamls.com/sifted. Head on over there to the most awesome liquor website you have ever seen. I'm not lying. I know people who have gone there. Notice nobody in chat ever says Shane's wrong when I say that, because they've gone there and they know. It is an awesome website. If you get LS Cream and you like it, definitely go there. It teaches you how to make the best drinks with LS Cream. They're absolutely delicious. No matter what you put LS Cream in, it always makes it better. And again, I said we have a secret on September 8th. It may or may not have something to do with LS Cream. Stay tuned.
I think that's the 9th.
Is it the 9th?
I think the 7th is a Sunday.
Tuesday would be the 9th? Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, then I need to correct some things with somebody, because... anyway, I won't go any further into that. Let's get on with the show. We're going to talk about Gamescom 2025 to kick off the show. And in fact, it's probably going to make up the bulk of today's episode, because there were so many debuts, so many new trailers for awesome games. And most of this is going to be discussed around the framework of Jeff Keighley's Gamescom show, Gamescom Opening Night Live. Before we start getting into the games...
Or
Onel. Before we start talking about the specific games, Matt, did you watch this at all?
No.
Are you done? Are you never going to watch Keighley's things again?
I'll probably watch Game Awards, I guess, just to see.
Yeah.
It's nice to see the faces of the developers once in a while.
Yeah, and you don't see that in this hardly at all.
Also,
They brought up a couple people.
Also, the Game Awards are generally at a better time for me. This I didn't even know what time they were coming on.
It started at 11 yesterday.
Yeah, I have other things to do.
Which is why
in
we
the middle
pushed
of
the
day.
show. It happened exactly. You guys wouldn't have been here watching our show anyway yesterday.
Just like I'm not getting up at 7:30 in the morning to see the Silk Song thing.
Right.
I'll find out later. I went to Sifted and I looked at all the trailers afterwards, and it took half the time, if that,
Yeah.
that it did to watch all this nonsense.
Listen to this guy. This is what you all should be doing. I mean, I hate to say don't watch Keighley's show, because if people don't watch, then they don't
go ahead
happen.
and watch the show if you have
Yeah.
the time and it's live at the whatever. But
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if you just want to do it in like 40 minutes, just go look at everything Shane puts up in a day and just watch it all.
Yeah, you don't have to watch the tween boy anime boob and short skirt games. It permeated every commercial break. I mean, literally.
You just have to watch the Jet Set Trainio, which is the only one.
Which is really cool.
That did look cool.
Yeah, but literally every break was games from Hoyoverse.
Oh yeah.
Just free to play.
You know where the bread's buttered.
Anime action RPGs with girls with bouncy boobs and skirts that are too short.
That fucking the fucking horse racing where the horses are hot girls thing is like the new hotness. So, I mean, that game has actual tie-in promotion shit at the Kentucky Derby. Like those girls just standing there on like big standees at the Kentucky Derby.
Here's the thing, Matt. There's this whole world that
Ghosts from the Civil War come back from the Kentucky Derby. How do you explain that to them?
There's this whole world, Matt, that you and I know nothing about. It is the world of mobile gaming. And I don't think people realize that mobile gaming just dwarfs what we like. I mean, our industry that we follow and give money to is worth a few billion. Mobile is worth
Oh, yeah.
like 20-some billion dollars.
All right, but my counter to that would be that the stuff we like is art, and
Yeah.
mobile gaming is disposable trash.
It's almost like a psychology experiment in some ways.
Oh, very much so. In fact, it was funny. I was looking up, just out of curiosity, because they've added more Mortal Kombat games to that collection that's coming next month. I was looking up. I couldn't remember what Mortal Kombat 8 was.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'd be nice to have a collection coming soon. If they're going all the way up to 4, and then everything you can think of past that. Sub-Zero, Special Forces, like the fucking GBA versions of
It's
Deadly
pretty crazy,
Forces. It's
yeah.
an amazing collection. And I might be hopefully I'd like it'd be fun to see them do 5 through 9 as another collection later, especially because 9, which is the reboot one,
Right.
is trapped on old systems. You can't really play it today,
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
without a 360 or
Right,
a PS3. And I was like, well, yeah, but then what was Mortal Kombat 8? Because I'm like, I can only remember 3 of the weird 3D
Yeah, I don't think there
ones.
was.
There was. Mortal Kombat 8 is officially Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. So probably
okay.
not on that collect. Maybe, I don't know. I guess it could be.
That feels like cheating, but okay.
They do consider that the 8th installment.
All
So I did not know, because I guess it's canon
Yeah.
in some way, because everything's canon when it's a multiverse.
Well, I mean, I'll say this. I think the presentation for Jeff's opening night live was pretty slick looking.
Right, but actually what I meant about that Mortal Kombat thing is in the middle there was a Mortal Kombat thing I'd never heard of, and I'm like, what is that? And so I kind of moused over it, and it's like, it was released in like 2022 or whatever, and then it was discontinued in 20. I'm like, oh, it must be a mobile game, because all mobile shit is just disposable.
Right.
Like, it just does, it comes and goes, and then like it's gone. You know, it was one of those, like, you remember that trend where everything was like a weird half-assed, side fighter.
Yeah.
Just like there was a Transformers one, there's a Marvel one, there's a DC one, there was Injustice had a version of it, and like they did one for Mortal Kombat, and it lasted like 2.5 years, and now it's gone, and all the money you spent on it is gone, and all the stuff you had for it is gone, and you can never play it again. And it's like, why would you get involved in that?
I don't think the people that play mobile games care.
I guess not.
They're just, it's like what I was getting at is they're a different breed. They look at everything different than how we do. So, back at GT, when our numbers were starting to fall because everyone was going to YouTube to watch video game trailers, like we tried to launch a mobile website, like where it was like all about discovery because there was no place to go. There's still, by the way, no place to go for mobile gaming on the internet. Every site that has tried has now been shut down and failed. Same thing happened with our goofy thing that we were forced to do at game trailers. It never worked. Nobody cared.
I remember that.
It's just like,
Because what do you talk about?
our site was just discovery. It's like, I like this. Show me a mobile game. And nobody cared about
No
that
one
either.
cares.
They don't care.
They just look at the charts.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's a different breed.
Well, then did you see what the top app is right now?
No.
It is, you know Hank Green? The Green brothers, John Green and Hank Green.
I don't
Blog
think so.
Brothers. They're big YouTube people, but they've been around forever. John Green wrote The Fault in Our Stars and a bunch of things like that.
I'm familiar with that.
Hank Green does a bunch of like side stuff and Crash Course and things. He's the business guy, so he came up with an app, and the app that's #1 right now, I think it was released on Monday, yesterday maybe, or the day before. It is called, I think it's called Focus something or something Focus, and what it is you basically get this thing, and it's like a little Animal Crossing style thing where you got a little house, and there's a bean in the house, like an anthropomorphic bean, like jelly bean or something. The jelly bean loves to knit. So if you have something you want to do, like you want to write a chapter in your novel, or you got to focus on a task, you tell the Focus app, I need 40 minutes, right? And it'll set a timer for 40 minutes, and the bean will start to knit socks. And if you interrupt and it takes over your phone, it like puts it in focus mode for as long as you said. And if you interrupt the bean because you want to look at Twitter or whatever, the bean has to stop knitting, and it loses all the progress it made on the knitting, and the bean is sad.
Oh, and that's enough.
And it is incredibly effective. And every time it finishes a sock or whatever, you get to decorate the room with the thing it knitted. And the biggest problem the app has right now is everyone has already decorated the whole room, and
nobody
they need
can
bigger
do it.
houses.
That says it all right there.
So
I mean, I do feel like a lot of mobile games are just time wasters. It's, people
that's
are
not
in
a
line at the
that's
dock
not a
waiting
time
for a
waster.
doctor.
That's an attempt to make you not waste time by not looking at your phone.
But the bottom line is that they still waste the time. They can't do it.
No. It's the other way around. Like, they only complete the decoration if you succeed at staying off your phone.
Oh, it's working.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying it wasn't
No, it's
working.
absolutely working.
Oh, got ya. I thought that the items were like badges of dishonor.
No.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You only get the items if he finishes knitting.
I see.
And so that means you have to leave the phone alone until you finish the time you said you were going to leave the phone
Interesting.
alone.
I have a little more faith in the human race.
So it's a way to...
Just a little.
It's supposed to be a way to, like, limit your screen time.
Yeah. Cool. I don't know how we got on a mobile gaming kick, but...
because of all the boobs.
Yeah.
There's
Talking
no boobs.
about the Hoyoverse.
The beans do not have boobs. I'm sorry to...
I can't believe it's popular. So anyway, I feel like the presentation for opening night live was pretty good, except they had a mic problem that persisted through pretty much the entire broadcast, where they didn't know whether to go with the house audio where the voices had echo on them, or go with the direct mic audio where there was no echo, and it was jumping back and forth. I'm sure you guys didn't even notice this. As somebody who works in production, it was driving me bonkers. And then they had this weird stage where it had like a ramp that went out into the crowd. And so you have these shots where the crowd is like craning their neck like 180 degrees to see the presenter. I don't know what was going on there. Generally, I think the presentation was pretty good. He did bring on pretty much, for all the big games, he did bring developers onto stage to talk to them. Some of them were not, it was not a good idea. Like this woman came on to debut a new cinematic for World of Warcraft from Blizzard. It was just awkward. She was really old, and she came out and nobody clapped. It was literally dead silence. There were moments.
You forgot to turn on the sign?
Maybe. There's just moments like that throughout the whole thing, but I think generally the presentation was pretty good as far as balancing it. It was 2 hours long. There never needs to be a show like this that runs for 2 hours, ever. There just doesn't.
Except that's how long. It seems like that's how long it needs to be to fit in all the ads that are needed to make it worthwhile.
I saw on the internet yesterday that it was $450,000 to have a trailer in that show.
Wow.
Do you think it's worth it?
No.
No? If you're a publisher and you're trying to get Black Ops 7 over or whatever?
No, probably not. But at the same time, it's cheaper than spending $10 million to have a booth on the floor at E3. So, like, if you're from that era, and most of the people that are approving these marketing deals are from that era, it sounds like a bargain.
I do think that most marketers and advertisers inside the industry would think that that's an okay deal.
Yeah, well, especially if you believe
the numbers, which we have not seen yet.
1 billion live streams.
We haven't got that press release yet from Keil and Company about how many people watched it.
I mean, you can't. You gotta let the stew boil. Yeah. You gotta cook the books at the right temperature.
And then he, in his intro, you know how he always does a monologue. In the one year, he got raked over the coals because he was talking about like something, but a bunch of people were getting laid off, and people were like, "That's insensitive." I thought he would just stop doing that. No, he did his little diatribe this time. And this time he started talking about how Gamescom is the new E3.
No.
And he said E3 failed when he's the one that killed it. I'm sitting there watching it.
I don't think he killed it.
I mean, he put the last shovel of dirt on it.
He didn't help, no. But E3 was going out the window whether Jeff Keighley did the Summer Games Fest.
Maybe
100%.
I don't know.
He had nothing to do with that.
I don't think he had nothing to do with
it. He helped push it into the fucking tomb.
Yeah.
Like he certainly helped roll the stone in front of the thing. But
it wasn't just him. I don't think
not at all. It was the ESA dug its own grave.
Yeah. He was the one filling the dirt on it though.
Jeff might have done the final Sparta kick, but the hole was there already.
Yeah.
You know.
And then the other thing I noticed was security was everywhere.
Yeah, well,
you could see him everywhere.
Nobody got on stage at the Game Awards either. So I mean,
he's finally figured it out.
Problem.
I mean, he's got like Heavy standing there now. Don't even try it.
And like, make sure you know who all the people in the groups going up for the awards are, so nobody thanks Bill Clinton again,
right?
And whatever the fuck that was.
So he has security there. People aren't going on stage, and then undoubtedly the highlight. Opening Night Live is different than the Game Awards. Yeah. It doesn't have a lot of like performances and that. They did have one.
The only performance I saw was the Claire Obscure.
Yeah, the acoustic guitar performance. It was pretty great. It
was fine.
Yeah, I thought that was really good.
I mean, if you're gonna highlight one game's music from the year, that's the game to do it with.
Do you want to see Opening Night Live swerve more towards what the Game Awards is doing and make it more entertaining? Would you watch it if you knew there were more musical performances?
Not.
No,
of course not.
Yeah, because you don't want to watch the Game Awards either.
Like the Game Awards, at least generally deliver something I'm interested in. Gamescom does not necessarily do that, and I'd rather go back and read the entrails afterwards. I cannot imagine I would make an appointment view. You know, I didn't even really watch Summer Games Fest. I got about halfway through that, and I'm just like, I'll just watch the rest on SIFTD.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if SIFTD didn't exist, I would just for the sake of convenience, because otherwise you're like combing through tweets or like reset area to
looking
find
all over
the
YouTube.
thing, whatever. But
I can't believe people do that instead of using SIFTD. It's insane. But part of it is my fault that there's literally billions of people who have never heard of SIFTD.
yeah, Shane has paid me $450,000 to talk about how good SIFTD is for this today.
I mean, when two people who work underneath Colin Moriarty had never heard of SIFTD, that was kind of like a light bulb moment for me. I was like, there are so many people who have never heard of my website, ever. And those two people were interested in the idea behind my website and had never heard of it. How? Like, how have they moved in these circles and not... You just figure at least through Pactor
How much
here
would
and
it
there.
cost to advertise SIFTD on the Game Awards as a way to not watch the rest of the Game Awards?
The site would crash.
Turn it off right now. Come back in an hour. We got you.
That would cost about $1 million.
Yeah.
Keeley, for that to happen, Keeley would charge me $1 million.
There would be a price for it.
Yeah.
There is a price he would agree to, though. I know that.
I guess from the other perspective, though, if you're not into like all the musical stuff and that, it may be annoying to watch the Game Awards. You may prefer opening night live because it is pretty much all business. It just shows one game after another. For the big games, they bring out a developer to talk for a little bit and kind of walk you through it.
I mean, it's more like the old press conferences,
Yeah.
but it's also about as numbing as the old press conferences.
You do start to glaze over after a while because it's just the confusion over whether is this content or is this an ad?
Right. You forget about how convenient it was that every press conference used to be a corporate theme. So like at least when you were at like Ubisoft's or Capcom's, you kind of knew what to expect.
Right.
And at this one, you're like anything could happen,
Which
like,
is kind of exciting.
sort of, but also it's also the most because sometimes you're like, oh, what is it?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's another fucking survival multiplayer MMO.
Souls-like.
Yeah, it's just like.
There are enough of those in yesterday's show as well. Souls-likes, man, they're just taking over the industry.
There is nothing that deflates my interest in something faster than hearing the word survival.
Me too.
In there. It's just like, oh, this looks. There's like 3 of those, and that's like, oh, this is interesting. It is survival.
You know what, Matt? You know what I realized yesterday? I had a kind of an epiphany about Souls-likes. Why there's so many? Because I'm like, this is a niche genre. It's not really anymore. But it really was for a long time.
I mean, unless it's Elden Ring, it is.
It is.
Let's
And
be
they keep pumping these out. But I think what it is, Matt, is I think that the fans of those games buy those games when they're new.
There's a very distinct built-in audience. You can pretty much guarantee to sell 1 million copies.
I would say, like, if it's good, like 3.
Yeah, but they're not all good.
Right. But
even that Lords of the Fallen trash is getting a sequel. So like clearly you can eke out a living here with this subgenre.
I think publishers have realized that fans,
especially because of how little content From puts out.
Right, yeah.
Like there's a hunger to be fed there for sure.
And I think that the people who love these games buy them the month they come out, and
that seems pretty true.
It looks from the data I've seen.
Because you got to get them right away so you can complain about them right away. Like the only one I've ever seen everyone be pretty much overall happy with was Lies of P.
Yeah.
Like everything else has just been a bitch fest.
For the most part, until they change it to the way they want it to be, basically.
Right. And then they're like, oh, now no one talks about it.
Well, Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, we covered that in the show a couple weeks ago. People loved that when it first came out. They put out a patch that kept you from killing historical figures.
Right. Chinese gamers,
right,
quote unquote,
right, freaked
were
out,
complaining that you could kill historical figures. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it was very organic and grassroots there. So now there's a bunch of stuff that are basically weird sparse areas where instead of there's areas where there's half as many enemies as there used to be because you can't kill the historically based troops or whatever, which is pretty bizarre.
And I think they're going to fix that. I think they're going to go back and roll that back. But
maybe.
But to your point about people complaining,
that feels like that should be an option if that's such a big problem. But
I agree.
But again, if it was actually just people complaining, it probably would have been a toggle.
Right.
But I don't think it was people complaining. I think it was a more formal organization.
It may be. Yep. So anyway, I think generally the presentation was okay. Whether you like the Game Awards or opening night live more, I think depends on your taste and what you want out of a show.
Well, if you want actual games, Game Awards is probably going to give you that. And if you want better than nothing, that's kind of where we are here.
Yep.
If Gamescom is going to be the new E3, it's E3 2013.
Right.
It's not one of the big ones.
That's right. Yep.
2013 actually was pretty big because it was the new consoles. But pick an E3 that bored you. That's what it is.
That would be the one that was in Santa Monica.
2007.
I think that's 6 or 7. I can't
7 or
remember
8.
which. Yeah,
It was
somewhere in
6.
that area.
5 was the first one we did live.
Yeah.
And 6 we perfected it, and then they changed everything.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
And it made it all. It was like this weird hotel
It's
thing.
all hotels
It's so
and like weird buses everywhere. And everything
Shuttles
was spread across. And we had to go downtown to interview some of these people because that's where they always stay. Because like
That's where they always stay.
That's where they always stay. They set like a regular account
Yeah.
there, and like all the companies are like, we're not moving everyone to Santa Monica. You
It's
fuckers
also
can
like
just take
triple the price.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like there's no easy way to get there because the train lines don't go that far.
Yeah.
And like,
Now they do,
buses,
but
now
back then they
still
didn't.
don't really.
Well, they go down to the beach, down to 2nd Street.
Way down south, yeah.
Well, no, it's like it's right there, Santa Monica. The new trains go right into the
It
beach.
doesn't come this way this far.
Yeah.
Like the
Well,
purple,
to
the purple
you,
line.
maybe not.
No, the purple line here isn't open yet.
Mm.
Like there's a subway that's supposed to go from downtown all the way down Wilshire to the beach.
Yeah. No, that's not
And
done.
that is-
you can tell because Wilshire has been torn up for the last 8 years.
12 years.
It sucks.
It was supposed to take 9 years. They're on year 12. And
Now they're just like, get it done before the
they're supposed to
Olympics.
yeah, exactly. They're supposed to have 2 stations, like the Fairfax and La Cienega stations, I think, open by the end of this year, which only leaves about 4 miles to the beach. And those boring machines go, what, like 30 feet per day?
Pretty
or
much,
something?
yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
some... Oh, my God.
They think they're going to have it done before the Olympics. We'll see.
I mean, maybe, but then like the problem is still you don't have any north-south spurs,
Mm-hmm.
so you still you can go all the way to like Westwood, but if you want to go to UCLA, you got to walk a mile.
Yeah, you
It's
do.
just like, okay, or
Yeah,
take a bus.
bus.
Take a bus anyway.
Yeah.
It's gonna take forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to get. And in 2007, it was even harder to do that. You could take the big. We didn't even have ride share.
Right. There's no Uber then.
No, and to get a cab in LA, you got to call them.
Yeah.
Like, there's
no one roaming the
no
streets.
cabs roam LA. It's
No,
not
you're
like
right.
it's not like a real city where like you're just like
Not like
it's
New York,
Oh,
that's
like
for
New York
sure.
or San Francisco.
Where you can just flag a cab.
We were because when we moved here, we're used to it's like, oh, we're done with the bar, let's go over taxi. It's like
Nope.
that was it. No, that doesn't happen here. You got to call them, and then they get there, and you're like, you want a taxi for what? Where
Yeah.
you want to go? Oh, I don't know if we go there. It's just like, like the people who showed up in the taxis acted like we were like interrupting something.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
Well, let's move on from public transit in LA because I'm guessing most of the people watching don't care.
They'll care when they come see the Game Awards.
They will.
And they can't get anywhere because they stayed on the wrong side of town.
Let's start talking about the games that Jeff actually showed in his show. He kicked things off with Hollow Knight Silksong.
Which was like the biggest bait and switch I think he's ever pulled.
It's like, what are you doing? So he's like, I have the first new gameplay of this game from for the last
7
3
years.
years. And instead of running it so people could see it on the screen, it was running on the screen in the theater behind him. I'm like, what are you doing?
Because he wants every
Was he trolling the fans?
No, he wants every clip of the new Silksong footage to have him in it.
That could be.
I assure you, that's what that was.
Matt, why are people freaking out about this game like they are?
That's kind of a meme.
I mean, the first one was good, but...
So I highly recommend look up on YouTube, the guy who does Folding Ideas, the YouTube channel, usually talks about movies and stuff. So he did a panel at PAX, this past PAX, whatever the last PAX was. I don't remember. PAX Prime? Whatever. He did a panel that was called The Finer Points of Silk Posting, which talks about, it's a Reddit, but it's the actual Silksong Reddit. It's not like a joke Reddit. It's literally the Silksong Reddit. And it's about how over the last 7 or 8 years that it's taken to get this game made and the complete radio silence from the team, from Team Cherry, the Silksong Reddit subreddit has basically become a giant shitposting location. And the only stuff anyone talks about this game are just like years old memes and running gags. And like one of the big genres of this is to like post like a thing about the release date coming out and see who you can fool, or like new footage, or has become an exclusive to mobile, or like the it's it's the version of shit posting that is Silksong is called silk posting, and it's become and its own art form.
Oh.
And he continually emphasizes this is not some side silk posting side subreddit. This is the actual Silksong subreddit. So when the game comes out, what are all these people gonna do?
Right.
Like when the dog catches the car, what
does it
happens
do?
to this literally culture.
I know.
That has grown up around the fact that this game isn't out yet.
Well, it was like when I discovered that creepy Undertale community from my
Right.
nephew, and I was like, what in the hell is
But
this?
at least Undertale exists.
Right.
Like, at least that sprang up around a game they played.
Yeah.
This is a whole culture that's based around a game no one got to play yet.
Right.
And, like, some of it is very funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like an hour-long panel called Silk Posting. Just do a search on YouTube for that. And it's very educational because he's basically done it like an archaeological dig, and he explains to you the whole history of all that.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating because all that's going to basically die when this game comes out, because it's all predicated on the fact that this isn't out yet.
And to segue from that, it is coming out this year. That was what Jeff announced on stage. That's coming this year.
But wouldn't tell us exactly when.
Because Team Cherry wants to announce it
tomorrow.
So there's a
and
big...
then Keighley posted a picture of himself with a clown nose on that said first time. Like, it was all bullshit.
Yeah.
It was all a troll.
Uh-huh.
Which, to be fair, is very in the spirit of Silk Posting.
It kind of is, yeah.
Like, that was very much in the spirit of the culture that sprung up around this game over the last 7 years.
It's pretty insane.
So in that regard, props to Keighley.
Yeah.
Because very on brand.
He read the room.
Yeah, exactly. Very much read the Silk Song fan base room. 100%.
But as we said, tomorrow morning, Team Cherry is blowing this game out. We're 99% sure they'll announce the release date. Look, it's on my fantasy team. I'm not saying anything until they announce it.
I even saw people that's like, oh, Shadow Drop. And it's just like, no.
No, I don't think that's happening. But it's playable. We
will know when this is coming because they have to send out the surveys asking the Kickstarter backers what platforms they want their codes on.
That's actually true. It's been so long. You forgot that even needs to happen.
Yeah, it was DLC. It was a stretch goal.
I know.
This game is a stretch goal from like 2016.
It's insane how big it's become. And inevitably, people are going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
There's no way it'll ever live up to the hype at this point. It's impossible.
But as always, the question is, but what if it does?
Right. Then the world just blows asunder. We'll see.
What if it does? What if this is just the undisputed game of the year?
A game of the forever, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. But anyway, we're going to get a lot more information on that. In fact, you'll have more information as the day goes on if you're out on the internet because it's playable at Gamescom right now. So there's a bunch of footage going up on YouTube.
Proof of life.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's there. So anyway, Hollow Knight Silksong, more information coming soon. According to Jeff Keighley, it is coming this year. The second biggest game that they debuted, without a doubt, and this may make some of you guys moan, was Call of Duty.
Might be able to get the chat back, by the way.
Was Call of Duty Black Ops 7. I don't think the chat's ready yet, unfortunately.
No, you're going to have to let it think a while. You got to do it in steps.
You got to click something, wait 15 minutes, and then click again. That's how this PC works. It was Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Definitely the biggest game. I mean, this game took over opening night live. They had a huge studio-wide setup to blow out the graphics and the color schemes from the game. This was something that Jeff coordinated with Activision for a really long time to blow the game out. And so they showed this campaign trailer first, and then they shadow dropped a big developer doc on their YouTube channel, which is an 18-minute behind-the-scenes look at the development of Black Ops 7. And then they talked a little bit about multiplayer in that, but not much. But we got a good bit of information out of this. Here's the thing. What happened first, I'm going to go back here in this trailer. The night before, on Monday night, this moment right here. So Activision put out an ad on its official Twitter channel, or Twitter handle for Call of Duty, that showed this. People jumping with jetpacks. And people freaked out because, Matt, unfortunately, we are in the minority. We are the people who like the jetpacks.
Because didn't they already say that they wasn't going to have any weird traversal stuff?
Right. And so people were because here's the thing. It ran on the official channel. Mm-hmm. So people were like, this isn't a leak. This is just a screw up by Activision. So people knew it was legit. So Activision took it down and then went about trying to swat all the other ones that were up on the internet. Can't do that, obviously. It's impossible. But anyway, the damage was done, and people were freaking out. They're watching this footage, and they're like, there's jetpacks in this game. And Activision is like, no, wait, just wait. You'll find out. As it turns out, that's just in the campaign.
Yeah.
It's not in the multiplayer.
Don't worry, the multiplayer is not interesting.
Yeah, don't worry. They're not going to change anything about that. So this stuff, using the grapples and the jetpacks and things like that, wall running.
Boing, boing.
This is all just in the campaign. It's not a part of the multiplayer. So people were freaking out, and then they ultimately found out that wasn't the case.
Mechs.
But Activision was in
like,
this...
you kind of got my attention here. Like,
Yeah.
it's got enough Infinite Warfare in here that I'm kind of like, oh, maybe. I don't know.
Matt, this campaign looks insane. As you can see, if you start watching this, it's Black Ops. It's related to Black Ops 2. So it can do anything. Because you go to these surreal places. I mean, they've kind of been warming up to this. The last couple Call of Duty games, the campaigns, had sort of surreal moments in them where...
This is just going full Inception.
This is just like, yeah. I mean, right there, you fight a giant. Like, this... It's crazy. And, of course, the Call of Duty people hate it because it's different and it's trying something new. And they got juked into thinking there were jetpacks.
Do they even play the top-down stuff?
Right. I think this looks freaking awesome. Right there's like Smash TV stuff.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah.
I haven't said that about a Call of Duty campaign in years.
If you start like going frame by frame through everything that they put out for this game looks insane.
Yeah.
I wish that this stuff was coming over to the multiplayer and it wasn't just cordoned into the campaign.
Like, it looks like someone the people who made this actually like wanted to make it.
Right. I mean, I say this all the time. Black Ops 2 is my favorite Call of Duty because it's like this. And this is a continuation of the Black Ops 2 story. It has the same antagonist and protagonist as Black Ops 2. And again, it is my favorite Call of Duty, so I'm very hyped for this. And to see that they're following the same aesthetic as Black Ops 2, where they're like, you know what? Nothing's sacred. We're going to throw everything out, and we're just going to make an awesome game. We don't care if it pisses people off or it's not in tone with Call of Duty or whatever. We just want to make a fun game.
I didn't like Black Ops 2 very much at the time because I prefer the Infinity Ward tone and idea. I wonder if I went back to Black Ops 2 now, if I would like it better because I'm so sick of the
pattern,
the tone and style of what Infinity Ward established.
I mean, don't forget that Black Ops 2 had that crazy, almost like RTS mode in it, where it's like this. I mean,
that was the second screen trend.
Yeah,
that and Battlefield had one, and Need for Speed had one.
So Black Ops 2 is kind of the template that they're working off of for this. I'm all about it. Now, the one thing that does give me a little bit of pause is it does feel a little bit like Gears of Duty. Because for the first time, you have this ragtag group of comrades that play alongside you. And now they have to have this because you can play the campaign with 4 players cooperatively, which is another huge change for Call of Duty, which I think is really freaking cool. You can play the campaign, so you have to make characters that people want to select. So you got this group of 4 people with big personalities, hoping that one of them resonates with you so you have a character to play as. And then they started talking about how after the campaign is over, you can go back in and kind of go back into the campaign missions, and they kind of remaster and remix them so you can play through them again with friends after you've already played through the main campaign. So they remix it that way. And then some information came out from Insider Gaming, who is literally, I don't think they've ever been wrong about anything that they've leaked. Insider Gaming is reporting that Black Ops 7's final campaign mission will morph into a 32-player extraction shooter experience. I don't know how that's supposed to work. Like, you get to the final mission and it just starts grabbing people off the network to come in and help.
But it sounds like long ago there was a game that never came out, but it was called The Crossing, and it was based on Valve Tech, and it was supposed to be basically, it was a first-person shooter, but the campaign interleaved with the multiplayer. So there was in the story there were sections where there were big fights happening that were in the canon, but when you would go through the combat zone, you'd be walking through a multiplayer match.
Oh wow!
In your single player campaign, and then the bad guys.
That's cool.
The bad guys in your single player campaign, you could join in someone's single player campaign and play as the enemies.
Oh wow!
So like you were fighting human enemies, but the enemy, you only had one shot of health or whatever.
Right.
But basically, like some enemies in your single player campaign would be actual humans playing the enemies. It never came out, but that was the tech they were working on. This is what that reminds me of.
Yeah. I was very impressed with Black Ops 7. Again, they haven't talked much about multiplayer, so I don't know where that's all headed. But I already and again, I will say this, Matt, I did continue to play Battlefield 6 through the second weekend of the beta, the open beta.
I did not have time to get back to it.
So I did go back and play it again. I feel like I'm really well versed in Battlefield 6 at this point. Like that second weekend, really, things started connecting for me. I started understanding how things are supposed to work, blah, blah, blah. I feel like I have a good grip on Battlefield 6 at this point. And what I'm seeing, as far as movement in that game, still, it's nowhere near as good as it is in Call of Duty, even if they didn't touch anything from the last game. So As a gameplay first guy who cares a lot about movement and gunplay and things like that. Now, the guns do feel pretty good in Battlefield 6, but I feel like they feel really good in Call of Duty as well. I think the movement system is already better. I would prefer to have jetpacks in the multiplayer, but, people can't hang. I mean, that's really what happened, Matt, is you got all the influencers and YouTubers who couldn't handle the jetpacks, and they're getting their asses handed to them, and they're like, I don't like this. And so if they say I don't like this, all their million little tween followers say, I don't like this, and next thing you know, you're never getting jetpacks in Call of Duty multiplayer again.
I think this does provide a bit of a opportunity for Battlefield, though, to be sort of like, well, we're the military.
We're the more realistic.
Yeah.
That's already kind of happening with the skins.
Yeah.
Because the team at Battlefield is saying, we're not doing crazy skins. Everything's grounded in reality. Well, that's also really boring. And, if you play Battlefield, everyone's the same.
2 years from now, you're going to be playing as Dr. Doom.
I think Battlefield eventually will relent. Absolutely. I mean, Call of Duty may go a little overboard with it. Like, maybe Beavis and Butthead cartoons shouldn't be in there. But I like being able to see an enemy and knowing who they are. Like, you start to develop those little rivalries in the match. Like, oh, that guy's killed me 3 times. Oh, I'm going to get him now. And, when you can tell who that guy is by looking at him, it helps with that stuff. So there's pros and cons to both. But I think, a 4-player cooperative campaign, big deal for Call of Duty. If the whole extraction thing at the end is true, that's insane. And then another tidbit that came out this morning is that the game lets you level up your weapons in the campaign, and then you can bring them back, then you can bring your Black Ops 6 weapons and operators into the multiplayer. So that's Black Ops 6 stuff crossing over to Black Ops 7. So the lines are starting to blur between the entries. This is also the 4th Black Ops game out of the last 5 Call of Duty games. It feels like Black Ops is just kind of taken over.
It's the only thing they got that's still working.
It feels that way. Well, none of it.
Modern Warfare kind of lost some luster.
Well, here's the thing. None of it's working anymore because people play it on Game Pass. So the sales for Call of Duty over the last 2 years have fallen through the floor. You don't get those press releases anymore where they say, oh, we made $2 billion in 20 minutes or whatever. That stuff doesn't happen anymore because people just aren't buying it because you can get it on Game Pass for $20 a month. So the days of us getting those press releases the day after Call of Duty comes out, those are over. Battlefield may still have those days, though, and it can rub it in and say it outsold Call of Duty 2-1 or whatever, and the rubes who just watch TV commercials and don't know the industry at all will just be like, okay.
That must be better.
It's better. It's double better than Call of Duty. So it's going to be interesting to watch. I honestly hope that Battlefield 6 crushes Call of Duty. I mean, I'm going to get to play this no matter what. I hope it crushes Call of Duty this year so that Call of Duty is motivated to go even harder. So that's what it's all about, people. Having competitors.
But really the lesson they'll learn is being weird
doesn't work.
Is a failure. And we got to
go
back
They'll blame it on the weird.
Yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right, Matt. And they'll be like, now it's just boots on the ground. It feels like every 3 years.
As soon as they get, just like Infinite Warfare, the instant you get interesting, they get scared.
Yeah, and it's the influencers that play these games and have millions of followers. They don't like it. They didn't like it when skill-based matchmaking was incorporated 2 years ago because all of a sudden they weren't finishing matches with 85 kills and 2 deaths. They're like, oh, I'm actually playing against people who are almost as good as me. Oh no, I'm barely over 500. It's pretty crazy actually when you think about it how YouTubers and influencers ultimately affect game design. It's scary to me, honestly. So that's happening, but I think this game looks great. I also think Battlefield 6 plays great. So the good news is we have 2 great shooters coming out here.
Ready to cannibalize each other in the space of 4 weeks.
I think that's okay. I feel like you need these 2 games going head-to-head against each other to make each one get better and better. Because here's the thing, Battlefield 6 is good, but it's basically just Battlefield 3 again. It's even it now has reverted back to what fans are saying. I want the old stuff back again or whatever. So I think if both games are good, both games sell, if Battlefield 6 whoops Call of Duty this year, I think that is the best thing that could happen if you're a fan of first-person shooters. So we'll see how it plays out. I think both games are looking awesome. I think they're both looking good, and I think they're both going to give you different things. And I think that's good as well. If they're both the same, what's the point of that? So
well, we'll find out when
when they revert back to being boring. Yeah. So anyway,
maybe not under Microsoft's guidance. I don't know, that was kind of Bobby Kotick's reaction to things. Was stop being so weird.
Right.
People don't want weird.
No, it's true. Yeah.
So be nice if what they the lesson was like, well, let's lean even harder into the weird to differentiate ourselves from Battlefield, so people don't feel like owning one is the same as owning both.
Yeah.
But that feels very optimistic.
It does, but again, it feels like it's been a really long time, Matt, since we've been in this position, where we have like two really good first-person shooters competing with each other. It just feels like it hasn't happened in like a decade. And so it's allowed Call of Duty to kind of just slide into this malaise year after year. So I'm pretty excited about it. By the way, the footage we've been checking out for the last like 3 minutes or whatever is the multiplayer footage that they put out. They're obviously, as they always do, they're going to do a big blowout of multiplayer separately. At least that's usually how they do it. So we should probably look for that. I think they may be said when they're doing the next big thing for Black Ops 7. I think maybe they already announced that. But keep an eye out. Obviously, if you're a user of SIFTD.net, you won't be able to miss it because we'll have it front and center for you guys. But anyway, I think Black Ops 7 is looking great. I think Battlefield 6 is looking great, and I think that's good for everybody who really likes first-person shooters. The next biggest game, although it could be argued that maybe this one is even bigger than the one we just discussed, is Resident Evil Requiem. Jeff has some kind of a pipeline with Capcom at this point where it's just feeding him pretty much all the Resident Evil Requiem exclusives. This one was very strange, so he showed it in the show. Capcom never put this out officially. Usually, with every other thing that Jeff runs in his shows, the trailers go up from the publisher the minute they air in his show. This one still has not been published by Capcom.
They did put some other stuff up, I think, but it wasn't this. It wasn't this. It was some monster thing.
Oh, really? I missed that somehow.
Maybe it's from this, but I didn't catch it before.
There's a demo of this at Gamescom, and so if you were on Sifted earlier today, you know that we've already curated like the whole demo. It's like 10 minutes long.
Maybe it was the demo.
And they're letting people capture direct feed footage from it. And that is just like the straight up game. Whereas this is a flashback to what happened to Grace's mom. So we knew before this game was even announced that Grace's mom had died somehow. But I don't think they ever shared how she had died.
No.
In the prior games.
Just that she died in Raccoon City.
Right. And this little snippet that they show you shows you exactly what happens to her mom. Although you don't really know what happens to her mom.
Well, you do if you watch the rest of the thing that was out.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure the giant monster thing that comes out and grabs her in that clip is her mom.
Wait a minute.
Mutated.
Wait a minute. So, you watch this, right?
Yeah.
So at the end, something happens to the mom, but you don't see it.
Right.
Do you know what that is? What happens to the mom?
I think she just gets captured by Umbrella.
Oh. Because she looks out the window and she says, they're here.
I think Umbrella found her.
Is that who is it Umbrella that she's talking about?
Whoever the bad guy is now. I don't know. Maybe by then it was Umbrella. I don't know. I don't know the lore of what Umbrella is versus what the bigger bad guy organization is, or whether that's Umbrella or whether whatever. I don't know. I just know Wesker and Umbrella. But there's another clip where it's like gameplay stuff, and this giant hag monster comes out and attacks her, and she's got pretty much the same hair as her mother.
Interesting. That's an interesting angle. I will say this.
Jesus Christ, Henry Kissinger, don't sneak up on me like that.
I will say this. This is the first time I understood the whole fear thing with Grace. So Capcom's talked about it, about how she's just this Joe Blow, not really a secret agent person, and she lives in fear. And in this, you see it. She's breaking down, like to her mom. She starts crying. She's like, I can't do this. I can't handle it. And then her mom something happens to her mom like the second after that. But you can see she's hyperventilating. She's having a panic attack. Like,
as most people would in a Resident Evil situation.
I mean, I say this all the time, Matt, that like people don't react in video games the way that they should to what's actually happening to them. Maybe this is like the first time that's actually going to happen.
That's true in movies and everything too. I mean, otherwise you've just got everybody having panic attacks through the entire Friday the 13th movie, and that's not fun.
I do wonder, though, it's like if there will ever be a game that does that. It's very overt about it. It's like, look, this is a different kind of game where people actually react the way that they would to the stuff that happens. Like, if people would be receptive to it.
I don't know. I mean, Clock Tower kind of is that in the sense that you just sort of run.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
I would say that the Silent Hill Shattered Memories, which I actually don't like very much, but like, yeah, you mostly just run from everything, and that's probably more close to what someone would actually
you're probably right. No one's going to stand and fight, that's for sure. And obviously, you know already, this is coming out February 26th, I believe. Is that right?
Sounds right.
Yeah. For PC, PS5, and Xbox Series. I still think probably a Switch 2 version will come along eventually. Who knows how long that will take? But I do think eventually you'll get a Switch 2 version. That's another theme kind of at Gamescom, is that it feels like most third-party games are going to come to Switch 2. They may look gimped or maybe not run at a high frame rate or be locked at 30 or something like that.
We certainly found out the hard way with Elden Ring.
Right. Yeah.
That even IGN was just like, this sucks in handheld mode.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll fix it, but like, it's got the tradition of from ports continues.
And you wonder too, just how many people are there that only own Switches?
Oh, sure.
You know, like what kind of market really is there for these games? But if you've already turned a profit on the games on other platforms, and you're like, we can spend $10 million to get this ready for Switch 2, it's probably worth it.
Yeah.
Because you may sell a couple million to the hardcore Nintendo fans who only buy Nintendo platforms. So it might be worth it ultimately, but I don't know. Are you more excited for this game with this new little piece of information?
No.
No?
I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'll play it.
Yeah.
Doesn't really tell me anything.
I mean, to me, it just gave me a more insight into who Grace is, I guess, really. And
Yeah.
probably made me a little more interested in her as a character, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what the goal was.
I don't have a lot of attachment to the characters in Resident Evil other than maybe Leon and Jill.
I'd agree with you, actually.
There's just not much there. You know, like, they're fun to play. They're
Uh-huh.
not particularly interesting stories if you really get down to it. I mean, sometimes they're entertaining. They're funny. Like, a lot of stuff in Resident Evil 4 is funny, but I wouldn't call Resident Evil 4 a great story.
Yeah.
It's just entertaining,
Yeah.
which is fine. That's all they need to be. They're B movies. They started as B movies. They always were. Don't open that door. It's like, that's all they need to be. This is just high quality production value B movie, which is what B movies are now.
Yeah.
Thanks to A24.
A24, yeah.
And all those things.
Yep. So anyway, that's the latest look at Resident Evil Requiem. My guess is we're going to see a ton of this game leading up to its release in February. We've got, 5 months now?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there'll be a huge thing at Game Awards.
It's going to heat up here, and pretty soon, I wouldn't be surprised if after Gamescom, after the press comes back up from that demo, like, I don't know, like late October, around Halloween-ish, we get like a nice little chunk of gameplay, something like that.
Yeah.
So,
and it's going to, Resident Evil's got a lot going on. The guy who did Weapons is going to do the movie, so they're going to start ramping up publicity for that as that goes into full production.
Yeah.
That'll be probably happen like early next year.
right. Yeah.
Next year's going to be a big Resident Evil year.
It is. Yeah. I'm excited for Resident Evil Requiem. Hopefully you guys are too.
And it's, is that their 30th? Was Resident Evil 1
95 in Japan, 96 in the US,
Yeah.
I guess.
So it's technically Resident Evil's 30th.
Right.
Biohazard's 30th this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, it will be a big year for sure. Next up, the game that
And there was
Keighley...
that one leak that said that the next remakes are Code Veronica and Zero.
Oh, that's right.
Coming in 26 and 27.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
27, 28, rather.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll get 9 next year, and then Code Veronica, and then 0.
And then what are they going to do? Like,
You got to do 1 eventually.
seriously,
the only one left.
that'll be the only one left. Yeah, at that point. Next up is the game that Jeff finished the whole presentation on, and I guess that speaks volumes, and that is Black Myth. I'm sure I'm going to pronounce this incorrectly. Black Myth Jean Qui?
That's better.
About roughly accurate?
About right for an American tongue.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce it right either.
Yeah. What we figured out with this is that Black Myth is going to become the franchise, and it's going to be an action RPG single-player franchise that basically dabbles in ancient Eastern mythology and folklore. And this one concentrates on the god. It's the god who catches souls between heaven and...
He's a ghostbuster, basically.
Really?
He fights ghosts and demons. He drives off or catches ghosts and demons.
Yeah.
He's a big dude with bulging eyes and a black beard, usually.
I would love to see the sales numbers for Black Myth Wukong, like China versus
rest of the world.
everywhere else.
I mean, the rest of the world's got to just be gravy for them.
You would think. I mean, obviously they made their money back and then some just off of the Chinese sales, but it's like
even with the wet tiger tech is second to none here.
seriously.
That is maybe the best looking cat I've ever seen in a game.
I know. What I'm getting at, though, is like, this was the ender. This was like the big thing for Jeff's show. And is that happening because it sold really well in China? Is there that much interest in the West for this stuff?
I think it's happening because we all know the name.
Yeah.
It's a recognized property. It's the first announcement of the sequel. Black Myth has had a presence on his shows before, and he's a good relationship with those people. So I think it makes sense. It's a cool trailer. Like it's that tiger's really cool. Like, for all you can say what you want about Black Myth Wukong, but you cannot argue with those visuals.
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt that technically it's a really
I hope
amazing
they finish
game.
this one. That would be good.
Yeah.
Because the last chapter of Black Myth Wukong is a big open space with very few things in it that's literally titled Unfinished. Yeah, I mean, I didn't love Black Myth Wukong, but I think the idea of taking this sort of aesthetic and adapting different myths with it is actually a pretty cool idea.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, the good news is, people, we've got you guys into the show. I don't know why.
Almost exactly an hour.
Yeah. I don't know why the chat isn't showing up on YouTube. You can see it right there.
Yeah, it is right there.
What is going on there?
I don't know.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Well, it's weird that it shows anything.
Right. But
I
it
don't
doesn't
know.
show what we're seeing on the actual screen.
No.
But it's not. The other one isn't either.
No,
It's showing
old.
like an old image.
Yeah.
There's still something going on. It's not working
Gavin
right.
Newsom is not in our chat.
Yeah.
As far as we are aware.
I think what's happened is that the
It's showing
connection between the PC and the TriCaster is not working the way that it's supposed to.
Did it freeze again?
It looks like it.
Oh well.
Anyway, I don't even know what to say about that anymore. I was not a big fan of Black Myth Wukong. I'm not particularly excited about this. I just found it interesting that this franchise has now been deemed worthy to close down one of Jeff Keighley's three big events for the entire year.
What else were you going to use of the things that he had?
That's a good point. Although I think maybe the next game we're going to discuss maybe might have been a better option, but we'll see. But it does appear that Black Myth has become one of the industry's biggest franchises at this point, regardless of where the sales come from.
It's certainly something Jeff found worthy to close the show with. It doesn't mean it's one of the biggest franchises in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
It just means that Tiger looked cool.
But anyway, we didn't get much information. That trailer, as you saw, was only like 45 seconds long. My guess is this game isn't coming out for a long time.
I also really enjoy that the characters in that are like weird Cockney accents. It's like, oh, it was that tiger.
Yeah.
It's like a tiger. Wet tiger. It's like, what? Okay, they can sound like that, I guess. Fuck it, as long as you're translating it, you can sound like anything you want. Those guys seem working class? Sure, why not?
Well, the next game that I just hinted at is Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. This is the fourth Batman Lego game.
They are popular.
The fourth!
Although it's really, there's 2 and 1 and this one. Because they're kind of separate things.
Are they?
Well, the 3. Well, there's 4. Aren't there 5 now? This is the 5th one.
I thought this was only the fourth.
There's 3 Lego Batman games.
You're right.
There's Lego Batman 2 where they added in Superman and the open world thing. Lego Batman 3 where they go into space and do all the cosmic shit.
Uh-huh.
Lego Batman the movie. They had a game, right? For the Lego Batman movie? Didn't they do that?
Maybe.
Am I making that up?
I don't think they did, actually.
No? And then there's this one, which is basically TT Games going like, oh, you're not going to make another Arkham game, Rocksteady? Or we'll just do it.
Because it does feel like the combat in this is basically aping the Arkham franchise.
Straight up Arkham combat.
Yeah. Here's what I don't understand, Matt, and maybe you understood more of what they were saying. It sounds like this is just like a mashup of everything that's ever happened with Batman.
Pretty much, yeah.
How do you make that happen?
Same way you do anything.
So he's had different relationships with different villains throughout the year. Sometimes they're kind of allies. Sometimes they hate. How do you decide, like...
Whatever you like.
Yeah.
It's a multiverse.
Yeah.
I mean, every Batman movie is a different universe. You know, like the Keaton movies are different from the Val Kilmer one, from the Clooney one, from the Nolan ones, from the new one, from the Affleck ones, from the Pattinson ones. Like they're all, you know, you reboot continuity in comics all the time. Doesn't matter.
Is the game set up like a multiverse, or is it just one world? I know it's open world.
It's one world that's basically mashing up everything Batman that whatever they like the best. So you've got.
But there will be like one Joker, and okay.
The Joker is the Heath Ledger Joker.
Okay.
The Bane is the Harley Quinn animated series Bane that is making fun of the Nolan Bane.
Right. That's pretty great.
They use the music, the Danny Elfman music from the '89 Batman. They use a lot of Nolan trilogy stuff. They use some animated series stuff. They use a lot of Arkham stuff with the combat and the explosive gel. They use a lot of the Batman Pat-Bat stuff with the Penguin car chase thing. This is basically the origin from Batman Begins. Like, they're just basically taking the best of Batman's various media appearances and smashing them together into one origin story. or one full, you know, basically it's Arkham Origins, the life of Batman.
It's an interesting way to do a game, for sure. It makes you wonder if like there'll ever be another Batman Lego game, or if this is like.
I mean, this seems like something. It seems like they're kind of going for a definitive thing.
Yeah.
Here. Although again, if this thing's a huge hit, you can always just do another one that has all the villains that you didn't use in this.
Right.
I mean, Batman is not going to run out of characters.
Right.
So.
Why do you think Batman of all properties has got 4 of these games?
Because Batman's the second most popular superhero in the world.
He's right behind Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I didn't know that,
He's
actually.
not right behind Spider-Man. Spider-Man sells more than every other superhero combined.
Really?
Spider-Man is... Like, it's saying Batman's second to Spider-Man is like if, like... I'm second in a race with Usain Bolt. There's two of us in the race, but there's a gap.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is bigger than you can imagine. Spider-Man outsells the rest of Marvel and DC basically combined.
I mean, I knew he was big. I didn't know he was that big.
Batman is DC's most lucrative merch and licensing character of all time.
Yeah.
Largely because he's had the most movies and the animated,
Right.
He has been a media powerhouse since before we were born with the Adam West show.
I also feel like his story is one that resonates with everybody.
Like there's a resonance to it. His villains are the best. Like, he and Spider-Man are the best of rogues galleries. That really counts for a lot because the villains are the ones you have to identify with.
He's not really a superhero. He's just a human.
He's just a crazy guy in a bat suit, and you can dial that up or down as you need for the continuity. Recent years have found a way to make him kind of a surrogate father to the various Robins and the Nightwing. There's the Bat family, as they say. It's just more versatile than pretty much anyone. He's more versatile than about anybody except Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it's the opposite of Spider-Man because like Spider-Man has that thing now of like that was started. It was started with the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse where it's like anyone can put on the mask, so it's kind of a more universal like personal aspiration thing. Whereas the Batman thing has a little more power fantasy, has a little more belonging to a family thing because of all the sidekicks.
Right.
That's emphasized a lot these days, especially with the advent of Damian, his actual son, as the 4th or 5th Robin. I can't remember how many Robins there have been.
Yeah, I don't either. I can't. It's too much.
But so it's just and again, just a mainstay of media. If you watch television or movies, if you were our age or even older or especially younger, you have been exposed to Batman.
Yeah.
Batman, the Adam West
Can't
Batman, the Hanna-Barbera Batman, Super Friends,
all
the
of
'89 Batman, all the movies that have gone, the Batman the Animated Series. Batman has been a permanent media presence
It's never
for
stopped.
the last 50 or 60 years.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, and so is Superman to some degree, but Superman just doesn't. Superman's an icon, and Batman's more of a character.
Yeah.
And I think that's his strength. And again, like we see here, Batman can be anything. Look at all the different versions of Batman, and how so many of them work.
Yeah, they do work.
One of the problems with Superman is like there's all these different versions of him, and they don't really work. There's only certain ones that work. Like the Christopher Reeve one works. The new one works. The Man of Steel one was sort of creepy. The Superman Returns one was extra creepy because he kept staring through people's windows at night.
Then there's the TV show ones and
TV show ones. Very. I mean, there's a lot
Hit or
of things,
miss,
but there's just there's a lot more meat on the Batman bone, so to speak. And again, better villains.
It makes a big difference.
No one has anything like the Joker.
It's true. I mean, there's a handful of really great Batman villains.
Oh, tons of them. Yeah. And again, the thing about Batman and Spider-Man's villains is if you really look at them, the best villains are a foil to the hero. They reflect something about the hero. They say something about the hero. And Batman and Spider-Man, both their best villains.
They have great villains too. Spider-Man.
Batman is every major villain of Batman is a reflection of who Bruce Wayne could have been or might be or could be if he loses control. The Joker is the polar opposite of Batman. He doesn't take anything seriously and he has no moral code. The Riddler is the detective version of Batman gone amok.
Right.
The Penguin is the business side of Bruce Wayne gone corrupt. Bane, like sheer power, sheer tactical brilliance with no moral center.
Right.
You can do it with all of them. Like Two-Face, the duality of
Batman being a superhero and Bruce Wayne,
and the obsession with justice and the obsession with, and it's how easy you could flip over to the side from Batman fighting for justice into vengeance. Like every they all have that. And that's the great thing about the Batman villains is they're all basically a facet of Bruce Wayne's psyche, that he has to
suppress, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that takes physical form in beating the villain, but he also has to do that in his own head. And that's why it's compelling. And you cannot really come up with more than maybe 2 villains that do that for Superman.
It's true. Yep. Well, this game is coming to everything. It's one of the few games that's still coming to PS4 and Xbox One. That's the other kind of big overarching theme of Gamescom that I've noticed so far. There aren't any PS4 or Xbox One
Everything's
games.
on everything.
Everything's now PS5, Xbox Series, maybe Switch 2. That's actually one thing I haven't seen that I thought I would, Matt, is I thought everything would be announced for Switch 2 at Gamescom, and that has not been the case.
I think, like you said before, it sounds like there's not enough people quite have dev kits yet.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it.
Maybe by Game Awards.
Yep. Next up, a game that technically I'm way more excited for than the last couple of games that we discussed, but we've also seen a good bit of it at this point, and that is Ghost of Yotei. I would argue this is the best trailer for this game so far. This is the way I feel like all the trailers for this game should have been. Like, so far, every trailer for this game lacks energy. It doesn't have any excitement to it. It doesn't get me like pumped about playing the game. This trailer does. And I do hope that all the trailers from here on out are kind of in this tone. Like, you can mix action and story together in a trailer and make it great. And that's what this trailer does.
I think some of it is like the earlier trailers are reassuring you that it is still the same series.
Probably, yeah.
Because there is, having just gone through the first one on PC, it's a very introspective game. Like it's a lot of quiet moments.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking through, like, while playing it, now that we know what we know about this one, that like, oh, this is gonna be really different in Yotei, because like she doesn't have an honor code.
Nope.
She isn't here chasing the ghost of like what her father expected her to be, or what her uncle wants her to be, or is gonna be disowned because the shogun's disowned. All that stuff that kind of defined the pacing, story, and tone of Tsushima is not here.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting to see how this is a different game, and just in terms of how that all works with this character being the center. Because I don't think I ever really, until I had the contrast of this to think about, I don't think I ever realized how much Jin Sakai really defines everything about how that game functions and works.
Yeah, of course.
And how so many even like weird little side mini activity things, I'm like, well, she wouldn't do this.
No.
They're gonna have to have completely different things for her. So that made it, it was weird. Like, replaying the first one, knowing some stuff about this one, made me more excited for this one, in the sense of like, well, none of this can be the same when you do this.
Well, the one scene in this trailer she's talking to, I think it's one of the Yotei 6. I'm not 100% sure. But
that
she's
guy?
No. Like, you'll see it here in just a second. But she's talking to him, and he was there when her family was killed. And he says to her, he's like, how'd you get out of that tree? Because I guess she climbed up a tree, and they set the tree on fire. And he's like, how did you get out of that tree? Like, I saw you burning to death in the tree. And she says, my hatred to kill you got me out of the tree, and that's how I ended up here. This guy right here. Yep. She's like, my hatred for you killing my family is how I got out of that effing tree. I'm excited for this game. But
it's a strong motivator. Right?
Yeah. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for this game, but I do not think the marketing and promotion for it has been great so far. I think this is...
Well, the good news is the marketing hasn't started.
That's true, yeah. I mean...
Doesn't count until it runs on the NFL
That's true.
network.
Yeah, and this comes out October 2nd, is that right?
I think that sounds right. First week of October for sure.
Yeah. And they also announced that they are...
October's pretty crowded.
October looks ridiculous, dude. So many games are going to bomb in October. I don't know what they're thinking. There was like 5 more games announced for October in this show. I'm like, what are you doing?
Even Call of Duty's not coming out in October.
Yeah. We actually forgot to mention that Call of Duty comes out November 14th. I'm glad you brought that up. But yeah, there's like no games in November. Everything's in October. It's like, what are you doing, people? Have you not learned this lesson already? So anyway, they also shared that in early 2026, they're going to release for free the Legends co-op multiplayer that was also in the first game. So you have to wait a couple months for that to come out, but it will be free when it comes out, probably in February, I would argue. So anyway, Ghost of Yotei coming soon. I mean, we're really, about a month and a half away from it at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, October's right around the corner.
That was one of the reasons I finished it, because I was like, God, I got to get on this. Like, it's coming.
It is coming. Yep, for sure. So anyway, that's Ghost of Yotei. I would argue the best trailer for that game yet. Next up, a game that Matt slagged earlier, and I can completely understand why. Lords of the Fallen 2, coming in 2026 to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series. Matt, this might as well just be Dark Souls 4. Watching this trailer, it's like, look. Mm-hmm. I mean, it literally looks like...
Except when you play it and it doesn't feel
right
as good.
But it looks exactly... It's almost like plagiarism at this point. Mm-hmm. Like, did you play the first Lords of the Fallen?
I played both first Lords
right,
of the Fallen.
Right, because they named 2 games Lords of the Fallen.
Yeah. I actually like the first one more.
More than like the second first one?
Yeah.
The second first one?
Second first one I found was really boring.
Really? This looks just so generic to me.
I mean, the first one was. So, and so was the original. I mean, they've always been generic games. Like they're just...
Does it feel like this audience is just gonna just dive in, like no matter what?
I don't know. I didn't see a lot of like. I mean, the CEO or whoever, the leader of that company, kind of pivoted to trying to appeal to the chuds at one point.
He did, yeah.
And so I guess we'll find out if they're a big enough audience to support a AA game, if you want to call this that.
I mean, the first one sold 1 million units in like a month or whatever.
But like I feel like sometimes that's a good indication that you've got an audience to work with, and sometimes it's just about half those people are gonna be like, "Well, fool me once."
Yeah.
And I'm certainly one of those. Like, I did not find this to be an engaging Souls-like at all. I actually found the first one to be more engaging as a Souls-like, and that game was pretty dull too.
Was the first game as similar to Dark Souls as this?
Yes,
it was.
Even more so.
Oh, really?
I mean, because it came out like around this time of Dark Souls 2, I think.
Okay.
And it was even more just a Dark Souls clone.
Because I'm just wondering if they...
I mean, the new one, the new one, the first one, at least had some different mechanics of like jumping dimensions and like or jumping realities, like the afterlife or whatever.
Yeah.
Like there was some change, Soul Reaver style world altering to like get through different areas and stuff, which I found extremely tedious. But at least it was not something Dark Souls did. I'm sure this will have a similar twist. Like that seems to be part of the mythos. But I won't see because I have no interest in playing this.
I'm wondering if this studio, CI Games, is like, well, From Software stopped making Dark Souls, so
yeah, I mean,
we can fill the void here.
I think everybody's trying to rush to fill that void.
Yeah.
I do feel like the Souls audience has sort of chosen their favorites at this point, and this is not one of them.
Yeah.
Like I think the most of the love falls on Lies of P.
Mm-hmm. It seems like they love Lies of P.
Yeah.
Which I couldn't stand.
No, I didn't like Lies of P that much. But also Lies of P is the most Bloodborne of any of those Souls-likes, I think. And that is a lot of people's favorite from game. And it feels like that's the closest you're probably ever going to get to a Bloodborne 2. So I get that. And I haven't played the DLC for that, but everybody seemed to love that DLC even more than the main game.
Yeah.
So whatever they're doing over there, I think they should probably keep doing it. It's not really for me, but like that, I would probably categorize Lies of P as the most successful Souls-like, in terms of trying to take advantage of the fact that From doesn't actually put stuff out very often anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like the Lords of the Fallen stuff is pretty much an also-ran. I don't think I would really call most of the Chinese stuff more relevant in regards to sort of trying to kind of fill that niche.
Interesting.
But I don't know sales figures on like Fallen Feathers or whatever that was.
Yeah.
What was it?
Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any sales for that either. I did too.
It, but like I don't know. I'm no barometer really at this point. Turns out.
Yep. Also, this game is set 100 years after the last game. So.
Sure, who cares?
It's like, what does that mean?
Everyone's still wearing the same armor, I guess.
A century later. I'm sure that armor smells great. That's the reason
I don't think any of these worlds smell very good.
No, definitely not.
I don't think Pinocchio smells very good.
Probably not. Yeah.
Old wood and varnish.
If you guys were wondering, our PC crashed again. It's completely... Oh, it's not actually locked up.
No, it's back.
It's back. It is back.
Give it a second.
It'll crash again. Let's see.
It doesn't like Twitch.
It feels like Twitch is like what's kind of breaking everything for some reason. But also the network isn't working either. There's just something going on with this PC. I don't know what it is, but it is.
You gotta get a cheap tablet or something.
I gotta do something. Because here's the problem. I don't know if we're gonna be able to play Name That Game Tune at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Like, if it doesn't come back on, and it looks like it just crashed again. So, yeah, we may just have to run the ad for Soundwizardry this week instead of playing Name That Game Tune, which sucks. Anyway, our apologies, guys. There's just no way for me to see this coming. It worked perfect for the last 3 or 4 weeks, but I think we have one shut down too many at this point. I may have to do some work on that computer.
The analog 3D just got delayed.
Again? The N64 got delayed again?
The analog 3D N64.
Jeez.
It was supposed to ship at the end of August, and there's an email just got pushed to shipping Q4.
Tariffs. Yep. Next up.
That's probably not tariffs so much as that's just how they are.
Yeah.
Analog. They don't talk to you. They take your money and then they don't talk to you for a year. And then they're like, yeah, it'd be like 4 more months. Maybe. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Well, next up is Silent Hill F, the next mainline Silent Hill game. The thing of note for this trailer that was shown, it was the first time that we got to hear English voice acting in the game. And Konami has gone the extra mile and animated the faces so they match the English VO, which doesn't happen with every game made in Japan. So that's appreciated.
Isn't that right, Square?
Yeah, exactly. This trailer also kind of introduces one of the antagonists for the game towards the end of the trailer. But really, this was just a focus on the English voice acting, which sounds pretty good in my opinion. Yeah. I'm actually pleasantly surprised by the stuff that Konami is putting out now, because it disappeared for like a decade. And what were these people doing all that time?
I don't know.
Working on mobile crap and like...
What do we have to do to get Castlevania?
I don't know.
I mean, I appreciate the collections, but why is Symphony of the Night not on PC?
I mean, doesn't it feel... Is Castlevania a bigger franchise than Silent Hill?
Yes.
It feels like it.
I would think so.
Like, why have they forsaken Castlevania? I don't get it.
Silent Hill collection.
I mean,
there was, but we don't talk about it.
Right. I don't know what Konami's doing.
I don't know.
It's so bizarre, but it's like it springs back into action, and it's competent. I'm just like, how?
Yeah, well, especially because you have a template for what Castlevania should be now. And it's called Bloodborne.
Right.
Just do that.
Yeah.
Everyone else is.
Yeah. Oh, look, now I don't know what's going on. The chat started working, and look, it just popped out.
It popped the tab out.
I don't know what is happening here, Matt. This is crazy what's happening with this computer. It's losing its mind.
Well, just stop insulting it, or it's going to do it again. I can hear you.
Yeah. Are you excited for Silent Hill F, Matt?
Not really.
No.
I don't trust Silent Hill games. I haven't trusted...
From Konami? Like, just remaking them, maybe?
Anything, ever.
Oh, really?
I mean, I haven't trusted a Silent Hill game since 4.
Oh.
Like, I don't think there's been a good Silent Hill game since 4, except for the remake of 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I will certainly play the remake of 1 that Bloober's working on now.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't think most of Silent Hill has been particularly good. Like, I think a really good first game and a great second game and a great third game. And then the third game kind of finished the story that was started in the first game, and the second game was self-contained, and then they just sort of haven't really come up with another good story since then.
Yeah.
And they haven't really come up with a reason to go back to Silent Hill that isn't just like, well, I guess we'll run this dude through the ringer this time, you know? But nothing is different. Nothing, you know...
I mean, this game does look different.
It does feel a little different. Like, I would never know this is supposed to be Silent Hill.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Fatal Frame without a camera.
It does, yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm vaguely curious, but it certainly isn't. I don't really care about horror games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care about Japanese schoolgirls.
Yeah.
So you're kind of
you lost me.
Kind of 0 for 2 on that one. You know.
Zen Shoryuken, thank you for chatting for the first time. We can see you guys now, what you're saying, but we just can't get it into the show right now, so we can see it. Rob Manuel says Fallen Feathers was 14th best-selling game on Steam. Yeah, so probably not doing great. He says the sources for that is Vice.
It was better than a few thousand other games, though. I mean, it's not terrible. It's just one. I don't know what determines whether these things become darlings or not.
Yeah.
And whatever. Fallen Feathers just didn't seem to.
It just didn't catch on for whatever reason.
Which is too bad, because I thought it was pretty good.
It was one of the few Souls-likes that I've actually enjoyed, and of course everyone else hated it. Funny how that works. Next up, a game called Project Spectrum. This is a cooperative horror shooter from the same developer that created Delta Force. If you remember Delta Force, we covered it a few months ago here on GameFace. It's like an extraction shooter, free to play. It was a huge thing for a while. Did that just
come out this week on consoles?
It just came out on consoles this week, yeah. It was out on PC before, and it was a huge hit on PC for a while. It did feel like it kind of subsided fairly quickly. But this is from the same studio. And one thing I will say about Delta Force is that those developers are competent. Whether you like extraction shooters or not, I get it. you may not be interested in it. But craftsmanship-wise, this studio is pretty good. I think they're called Team Jade or whatever. So this is a PvEVP asymmetrical horror game. And most I could tell from watching this trailer is that one person can play as the bad guy. That's the one thing I got out of this. It's interesting how they do this trailer. They show you infiltrating this haunted house as a team, and then they kind of rewind the whole thing, and they show you infiltrating the haunted house, except this time you're the bad guy. You walk in there and you throw a Molotov cocktail at this thing that you think is an enemy. It turns out it was one of like the human players, but they're shrouded in darkness, and when you damage them, then you can see that they're another human player. So there's some kind of crazy stuff going on in this game. I think it looks pretty cool. What do you think, Matt? Nah.
I would be interested. Like when people talk about this kind of thing, I always thought it'd be more interesting if like the player that was playing the bad guys had more of a director sort of role. Like if you weren't playing as a character in the thing, but you were more doing sort of the dungeon master. Like I mean, as in the old Molyneux game, Dungeon Keeper.
Yeah.
Where like your team is going through the level, but I get to see like an RTS style thing, and I get to like put traps down and put these things here and trigger this, maybe take direct control of something if I want to, and like just try to stop you.
Wasn't that in that one Resident Evil multiplayer mode?
They did have a thing like that.
That only lasted for like 3 months or something, and they just like took it down.
Yeah, there was something kind of
because
like
there was a multiplayer mode that was supposed to come with a Resident Evil game. It didn't launch with the Resident Evil game, and then it came out like a week or two afterwards, and then I think one player could play as like the director that was watching the rooms and all the characters kind of run around. Maybe I'm misremembering that, but that's what I remember.
It
at least
rings a bell. I didn't play that game, so I don't know for sure. But I just, if you're gonna do asymmetrical, make it really asymmetrical.
Yeah.
Like make the bad guy player play a totally different game.
Yeah.
I think was more interesting.
Because this one does look similar to other asymmetrical games where one player is just the bad guy. You know, they're the monster and everybody else fights the monster. I mean, that's what this looks like. We haven't received a lot of information post-trailer to know maybe if there is some unique twist or quirk on it or whatever. Just watching this trailer, it looks like it's like every other asymmetrical horror shooter. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like you have a little more freedom as the bad thing, like crawling around on the outside of the building.
Right.
It's like at least you could probably use that for some interesting setups against. But again, it always kind of, it's sort of like the hype around Evolve, which was the same thing. Like one player plays the giant monster and everybody else. But it just when the rubber hits the road, these games tend to be very easy to break.
Yeah.
To the point where one side has a distinct advantage over the other, and you're sort of like.
Friday the 13th was the same thing.
Yeah, it's like,
I mean, look, these games have been done to death over the last like 10 years or so.
And at this point, it's sort of like, well, if you're either taking on Dead by Daylight or you're not, and odds are you're not.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think Dead by Daylight's all that good, but like it is the undisputed king, and it has every license in the fucking world, and you're basically fighting for scraps at that point.
Yep. Again, this is called.
As you said,
Spectrum.
The production value here is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, it looks amazing, but like to play it, I don't.
How do you feel about showing a game for the first time with a code name? Like this is called Project Spectrum right now. I'm sure they're going to rename it something else.
Yeah.
Do you feel like by the time you do this, you put out a pretty expensive trailer and you're in a big show at a convention? Do you think by then you should probably settle on the name of the game?
Maybe, but I guess having a code name gives you another excuse to put another thing out to say, here's our name reveal.
Yeah.
I guess it's another excuse to try to grab a headline.
Yeah.
So I think that all the stuff with the project stuff is silly, but like, Kojima does it, so who can argue with it?
Mm-hmm. It just
so
seems...
does who does? I mean, Square's done that forever. It's like announcing project whatever. And
right.
Like, okay.
Yeah. It just seems like they probably spent a lot of money to have this in Keeley's thing. And then it's like a lot of people are going to watch it and they're going to say, oh, I remember that game, Project Spectrum. And you change it to something else. It feels like you kind of wasted a little bit of your money maybe, but.
Yeah, but I mean, if you put another Keeley thing, theoretically, most of the same people will see that you've renamed it whatever.
Yeah. It would be easier if this didn't blend in with like 20 other games.
Yes. Yes. The problem is not really that it's going to be called or not called Project Spectrum. The problem is remembering that this is what goes with that name, because it looks like so many other things.
Yeah. I think this game looks pretty cool, though. And I am a fan of asymmetrical horror shooters. I am a fan of horror games. So this one definitely spiked my interest a little bit. Again, it's called Project Spectrum. There's no release date for it. There's no platforms announced for it. They just put out this trailer and haven't really put out any other information since. Next up, John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. Now, we are getting towards the end of my list here of games that are worth talking about from Jeff's show. So that's why it's in here. But it also kind of shows you that we're only about 8 games deep.
Right.
And this is where we're at.
I think you're going to leave out one that I thought was important.
Oh, really? Which one?
He-Man.
He-Man?
He-Man.
Yeah, I didn't even see that, I don't think.
It's a beat-em-up. Like side-scrolling, gorgeous side-scrolling.
No, I missed that somehow.
Like straight up Golden Axe.
Really?
Like Tila's like super attack, literally Tyrus Flare's attack. She does this, and the dragon comes out.
I completely missed that somehow.
Gorgeous 2D animation.
Interesting. I don't know how, but I missed it.
I've been saying it for months. Beat 'em up Renaissance. We're in the middle of it. You don't know it yet, but we're in a beat 'em up Renaissance.
It's beat 'em up summer. Hot beat 'em up summer, Matt. That's what's going on.
If you can't beat 'em up, join them, and you can because it's 4 players.
Yeah. Vincent says it was in the pre-show, the thing that was much better than the main show. We're actually going to talk about another game that was in the pre-show here in a minute.
See, I don't know where things fell in the show because again, I did.
You just watched this stuff later.
I just watched the highlights.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally missed that for some reason. I'll check it out when I get home after we're done with the
He-Man
show.
and the Masters Universe.
Is it a He-Man game from the cartoon?
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Something about the Dragon's Pearl or something like that.
How did I miss that? That sucks. I'll check it out when I get home, though. So anyway, this is John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. This is coming to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series in Q1 2026. This is only the second trailer for the game. And what really strikes me about this is just the gameplay variety in this overall. I mean, it does look a little bit like a Left 4 Dead clone. It could be where you're just fighting from one safe house to the next. It definitely is a cooperative shooter for sure. But just this very short trailer that they showed at Jeff's thing shows a lot of different gameplay styles in that amount of time. So I thought it was pretty interesting. In fact, there's a lot of Saber Interactive and Focus Home Interactive in this show in general.
The new Encore.
Yeah, it's feels like Jeff's got a pipeline into Focus Interactive, and literally it almost felt like a Focus Interactive E3 press conference in a lot of ways. I would also argue that Focus Interactive is doing pretty good.
Yeah.
It's got, I mean, as far as
indie... They are throwing a lot of stuff at the wall, but some of that stuff sticks.
Yeah, as far as indie publishers are concerned, here's the thing, too. Like, it shows you right there, that is from Saber's other games. Like the whole getting cars out of the mud. This is from their technical driving sims that we've reviewed here on GameFace.
I mean, they had another one in here. I'm wondering if it's on your list too. Road King.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So it's interesting to see Saber and Focus kind of using technology that they use in their other kind of more niche products and bringing them into kind of more mainstream stuff like this. So I don't want to play another technical driving sim for quite a while, but if they have a little bit of stuff where you're just hitching stuff up.
Okay. All right, but now imagine your experience with those games in a co-op shooter.
Right.
How's that going for you?
I mean, I'll say this. It definitely will slow things down.
Right.
But I would argue that these games could use some peaks and valleys instead of it just being like balls to the wall.
I'm more thinking about trying to do what you were doing in like SnowRunner while zombies charge you.
Right. It might be funny, actually. You could use a tow cable as like a rope to like guillotine him or whatever. But anyway, this is John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. Does anyone even know who John Carpenter is anymore, Matt, besides us?
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
Oh, yeah.
You think kids in their 20s know who John Carpenter is?
They do, actually, because the Thing is still a thing.
I'm calling 20-year-olds kids at this point. That's where I'm at now, Matt.
No, John Carpenter's pretty well known still. His stuff is still pretty evergreen.
Yeah.
People know The Thing. People know Escape from New York. People know Halloween. Obviously, Halloween is still around.
Yeah.
And again, I saw him at the Academy. They did a screening of The Thing, and it was a Bong. Oh, I can't remember. It was Bong Joon, the guy who directed Parasite.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
He had a week where he got to program his favorite movies, and one of them was The Thing, and he did a Q&A with John Carpenter on the stage after and it was a lot of fun because it was basically an Oscar-winning director who's just a fan of John Carpenter and wanted to talk to him, and it's very funny. And John Carpenter, who is too old to give a fuck,
right?
About
He's like,
anything.
"Who are you again?"
And I knew, but like you used to see, like he didn't care. Like he was just telling stories.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, we did this thing, and to get that effect, we did this, which is very illegal and extremely dangerous. But it doesn't matter. I'm gonna die before they can sue me." It's just like, he's like, "Come at me. I don't care." But he was a lot of fun because he understands the media landscape better than you think for someone his age. He knows video games. He knows all that.
Yeah.
He's into all that stuff. He doesn't understand why anyone still cares who he is, really.
Yeah.
But he's into it. Like he's like, "Yeah, I'll keep doing stuff."
How many more of these can you make, Matt?
These
like
like
Left
co-op
4 Dead
shooters?
zombie co-op shooter fight from safe house to safe house.
I would say negative 40, but we're way beyond the point where I would think this would be worth your time.
Now this does have a twist in that it has vehicles. Like most of these games do not have vehicles at all. So this one does add something to it. We'll see. If that is something, I don't even know at this point. But again, that's John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, PC, PS5, Xbox Series, coming in Q1 2026.
That's a good idea, Nox. They turn the Titus. There should be a John Carpenter skin for Fortnite, just so the kids know.
Yeah. And by the way, again, we can see you guys in chat. We just can't bring you into the show because there's something funky happening with the connection between the PC and our TriCaster. But we can see the chat. You guys just can't see it. Rob Manuel.
Okay, so
saying lots of stuff.
Fallen Feather is the 14 best-selling game on Steam ever.
Oh.
Not of the time.
Ever?
So yeah, doing all right.
Wow. That's insane. I would think that there would be more chatter about the game if that were the case. I don't see anyone other than
That's
people
what I was... Okay,
complaining.
that was a Fable game that got canceled. That's what the thing that was in my... The asymmetrical thing where the player, the bad guy player was like basically doing an RTS. That was Fable
Legends. Yeah. That was in development for like 6 years
Forever,
before they canceled it.
Like you could buy microtransactions on that thing before they shut. You refunded everything.
Yeah.
That was really far along. No, I like that idea. I didn't play Fable Legends. I never was in the beta for that. But if you're gonna do asymmetrical, I think having the bad guy be a little more of a dungeon keeper is a more interesting way to go.
Yeah. Corey Film, thank you for Twitch Prime, by the way. Again, I'm sorry I missed other people that gave us Twitch Prime, but if you guys want to post in the chat or whatever that you gave it to us, I'll thank you. Finally, after like 2 hours, the chat seems to be working. Vincent says, call out the super chat. Okay, let me scroll up and see if I can find it. Here it is from Tyler. Tyler, no, that's from last week, isn't it? Or is that this week? No, happy Wednesday. Tyler, thank you, man.
I was going to say like it and see if you can like it.
Yeah, another $50 donation. Thank you, man. That is freaking awesome. Thanks. That makes a big difference for us, man. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Anybody who donates anything, we'd appreciate it. And if you want to donate someplace where we actually get more of the money, because here's the thing, like, all the money you're donating on YouTube is awesome, but YouTube takes a huge cut of that money. Yeah. Like, we got our first payout after we started streaming on YouTube, and I was bummed. I'm like, man, you're taking all our fans' money. That's wrong. Like, anyway, if you want to give us a donation where we get all of it pretty much, go to donate.sifted.net, and all we lose is, like, the credit card processing fee there. No one's taking a cut of it like they do at Patreon and on YouTube. But again, we appreciate every penny that you guys are giving us on YouTube. If you don't want to go to donate.sifted.net, that's totally fine. That's just providing an option for you. Ruthina, you do you, just surprised. I don't know, she's replying to somebody else, I guess. People talking about how Kyle Bossman was in the pre-show. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I couldn't figure out whether he was there or he recorded that stuff here in LA and they just ran it there.
I don't know.
I couldn't figure it out because he was just sitting there at like a desk or something, and they may have just recorded it here and then just ran it in Germany or whatever.
Well, did you see him do anything else in Germany?
Nope.
Probably
He's probably not there. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. There's more games to talk about. This next game, Matt, I didn't think was ever going to come out. I really didn't. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, Matt, finally has a final release date. How long has this been in development? 12 years?
Long time.
Over a decade.
Yeah.
It's been canceled twice. I mean, they've given us release dates before.
Yeah.
But like months out. And then like 2 months after they give us a release date, they'd be like, oops, sorry, we're not going to make it. This time, the release date is October 21st. I don't think there's any turning around from that.
Well, they could. But...
Yeah, they could. But I mean, actually with this game, maybe I shouldn't say that. Because it seemed like before there were times where it was definitely coming out and then it never happened. How do you think this looks after all this time, Matt?
It looks fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
You can tell it's an older game.
I was never actually a huge fan of the Bloodlines game. Like it was fine. It was cool. Like the tricks were cool. About
I thought you might have liked it actually.
It was a little too freeform for me.
Oh.
Like you could do things that just sort of made everything's weird.
It's pretty insane.
This one is interesting in that you're kind of locked into two particular characters. And she looks Ventru to me. I don't know how much freedom you're going to have in creating these people, which seems like kind of antithetical to Bloodlines. But I guess maybe be a fun action RPG adventure-y thing.
I mean, if you aren't familiar with this franchise,
I like Vampire. You know, I played the original RPG back in the day. 30 years ago.
Yeah. It's because it's based on a tabletop RPG, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep. And the werewolf thing was first. Actually.
Yeah.
The vampires came second, but they were by far the most popular. And it is, various levels of success of translation into video games.
Yeah.
I think Bloodlines 1, once you mod the shit out of it, is probably the best translation of the world into a video game. And very immersive sim and all that, which seems like it's good. But one of the things that was cool about Bloodlines 1 was you could create a vampire of any kind, of any clan, and it had very specific and very notable differences. Like if you were a Nosferatu, Nosferatu clan in Vampire are they basically look like Nosferatu, like
They're
Count
old
Orlok.
and
They have deformities. They look like the classic Nosferatu silent film vampire.
Long fingers.
So they live in the sewers and they don't get to go out in public because they are, you're breaking the masquerade, which is the agreement that vampires have to not tell mortals that vampires exist.
Right.
So basically, if you chose a Nosferatu, you played a very different game because you couldn't go up in the streets.
Can't hide it.
You had to go. You had to go use the sewers and
Right.
listen to things and be sneaky because
So it's more stealth.
And it was very different. Whereas if you played like a Toreador or a Ventru, you could walk around in society parties and find out things over cocktail hour.
Yeah.
Like it was just a completely different experience. And if you're gonna lock me into two, one of whom seems to be a female vampire and the other seems to be a ghost,
Right.
of some kind,
Yeah.
that is very different.
Yeah.
And I'm curious how that's all gonna work and still kind of remain recognizably Bloodlines.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't know what this franchise is because it's been so long. But it really is like a crazy open-ended sandbox vampire RPG game. If you're waiting right now for Blood of Dawnwalker, is that the right word or is that its title? The game from former Witcher devs.
Yeah.
Blood of Dawnwalker. If you're excited for that, you should check this game out.
Maybe I can't even tell if this is still an RPG.
I think it is.
It kind of looks like just an action game now.
Maybe. That would be a huge departure, though. Fans would be pissed.
This looks like Dishonored.
It does a little bit.
It does not look like a.
I agree.
It does not look like the thing Bloodlines 1 was.
I think people would lose their minds.
I agree.
You may be right, but I think people would freaking flip after waiting over a decade for the sequel.
Like the big thing about Bloodlines is the freedom and the freedom it gives you to play in that world.
Yeah.
And if this is just like BioShock
like
Vampire,
linear vampire
which
game,
is kind of what it looks like.
It kind of looks that way. I hope we're wrong. People will freak out, and then they will understand why it finally shipped. Because the thing is making games like this is hard.
It got Rod Ferguson.
Yeah,
I think is what
maybe.
happened here. I think they cut some limbs
Somebody
off.
came in
out the door, and it's like, all right, ship the vampire game. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Which again, at this point, probably the best thing you could do. You gotta move on.
Yeah. At a certain point, you have to. Yep. Next up. Warhammer Dawn of War 4. Matt, I feel like Dawn of War has become the best RTS franchise in the industry. Is that wrong?
There was a time when I would have said Company of Heroes gives it a run for its money, but that was before Company of Heroes 3.
Yeah. Also, Company of Heroes
Relic.
doesn't put out games often enough.
Well, that was also the same developer. So
that's right.
It's Relic.
That's right.
This is not Relic.
Yeah, who is making this, actually?
I don't remember. It's somebody.
I actually created the game page for it. I should remember the developer, but I do not, unfortunately. But you're right, it is not Relic.
Yeah, I do. I mostly like these games. The definitive edition or whatever of Dawn of War 1 came out this week.
Right.
At some if you already own the anniversary edition of Dawn of War, you got some crazy discount. Like it was an upgrade that I think it cost me like $12 or something, and it upgrades though everything. You get all the expansions. It's the entire all the content of Dawn of War 1 in one place, remastered. It all looks good, phenomenal. Just go play Dark Crusade again, which is my favorite campaign, maybe my favorite RTS campaign ever. The Dawn of War 2 kind of turned a little more action RPG-ish. Like you got like more. Your squads had more identity to them. Like you stuck with the same squads like through the whole campaign, kind of.
I remember that.
And then 3 was just kind of a mess.
Yeah,
like 3 was probably 3 is probably why Relic's not making this one.
Relic seems really busy.
Yes, definitely.
It seems like maybe it puts too much on his plate at times.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
And this, like, I mean, we'll see. Like, I like these games. I'm always rooting for Dawn of War to be good. We are kind of going through a Warhammer 40K, like, resurgence here.
Yeah.
Like, between Rogue Trader, which was great, and
that game built a lot of buzz.
Yeah, Rogue Trader, by the way, got a lot better after patching and DLC. Like, if you played it and thought it was kind of okay when it came out, go back and try it again because they really improved it. I think.
Yeah.
Space Marine 2 hit really big.
Huge hit.
So it doesn't surprise me that
Bolt gun. I love Bolt gun.
The Total War stuff is Warhammer Fantasy, but it's still still the brand. I am. Maybe it's because of these games. I'm stunned. There's no Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah.
Like, that feels like that would be a big game. Big game. The other thing about Dawn of War is it all seems to I think they all take place on Kronos, this one planet, and it's like, I don't know why this one planet is so fucking important to you people, but like they will not, none of them will let it go. It's a Necron homeworld of some throne world of some kind, and like even in the trailer here they're like this is not about strategy. It's about revenge. And it's just like, all right, people, you want to just keep fighting over this one piece of land that basically must have no strategic value at this point because it's basically just soaked in blood from top to bottom. But hey, we get to play a fun game, maybe, hopefully, we think. I don't know if they've ever topped the first one. I think the first one might still be the best one. But I do like this franchise for the most part. I'm glad it continues. And more RTSs do seem to get to be continuing. Even I think this like Age of Empires 4 is coming to console now. Finally announced that. So yeah, it's nice to see this genre back in some way.
Yeah, it feels like it's really kind of disappeared.
It did.
It almost feels like it's a dead genre at this point.
Once consoles started ruling the roost and no one ever really figured a great way to put like RTS control. RTSs were sort of the last thing that mouse controls really worked best for. That like you just couldn't replace properly. And a couple of Battle for Middle Earth 2 on console came up with some good ways to sort of navigate that. I think Halo Wars figured out some decent ways to do that, but never as satisfying and responsive as just using a mouse.
Yeah.
But it's nice that like the PC gaming world has kind of become significant enough that you can have these games again.
Yep, absolutely. And that is only announced for PC right now, Dawn of War 4.
Yeah. I don't think that any of those have ever come to console.
Yeah. It's going to feature 4 unique Warhammer 40K factions, and we'll have over 70 campaign missions when it ships. It is coming only to PC as of right now in 2026. Next up, a game called La Divina Commedia, or The Divine Comedy, or Dante's Inferno, depending on who you are and where you're from.
Well, depending on how much of it's adapting.
Right.
I've seen so many people not understand that those are the same thing.
Right.
That like Dante's Inferno is referring to Inferno, which is the first third of the Divine Comedy.
Right.
Inferno, Paradiso, and not wrong order. Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso.
Yep.
He starts from hell, goes through Purgatory, and ends up in heaven trying to find his ex-girlfriend, basically, who does end up guiding him through heaven and then saying, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's mostly a political satire.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the people who are in hell are people he didn't like in real life. And it's most famous for introducing vulgar Latin and Italian to poetry, because he didn't write in highfalutin Latin. He wrote it in the Italian of the day, which you simply did not do. So this story was sort of seen as like democratizing like poetry and high art to the masses because anyone could read it. So I guess it does track that you would turn it into a big bloody hack and slash game that anyone looks at and goes, cool.
Yeah.
But I've seen so many people think that this is somehow related to the fucking EA game.
Right.
That was simply just based also on Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
That I'm like, Open the schools.
Yeah.
People.
I'll be honest with you, Matt. The only reason I know what Dante's Inferno is and the Divine Comedy is, and that they're the same, is because I'm a big Joy Division fan. And at a certain point in Joy Division's history, there was this iconic live bootleg recording of one of their early shows that all the fans were like all over and trying to get. And when it came out, they called it Dante's Inferno. And they made shirts of it and everything. And so, as a huge Joy Division fan, I started digging into it. I ended up reading Dante's Inferno and the Divine Comedy because of that. But you're right. Most people did not understand that at all.
I really thought this was a better known work.
Yeah.
And the reaction to this trailer has surprised me in that people just don't know what this is.
Yeah, they really don't. In school, they didn't have us read this. It wasn't a part of our curriculum.
They didn't have us read it. I read it in college.
Yeah.
I actually have a translation of it by professors I had in my college.
Oh,
from
wow.
my college. And it's a modern English translation, and the idea is that he travels through American cities. And the art is all etchings of different... It's really cool. I'll show it to you before you leave. It's downstairs. But it's basically... hell is Los Angeles. Purgatory is... Chicago, and heaven is New York.
Oh.
I disagree. Or actually, no, Purgatory is San Francisco. That's it.
Oh.
He goes from L.A. to San Francisco, and New York is heaven. I might change the order of that a little bit. But, no, but like, there's any kind of ways you can interpret it. I mean, reinterpreting the Divine Comedy is a tried and true literary device. So you can do whatever you want with it. There's actually a board game called Inferno where you're deciding which circle of hell souls go in that I desperately want, but I can't get it because it was a Kickstarter I missed, and now I gotta wait until they reprint it.
I have not heard of that.
Oh yeah.
But so this is only announced for PC. It has no release date so far. And that trailer doesn't really show anything. It just shows a duel in one of the layers of hell is all I can pretty much grasp.
Oh, and that's another. The idea of circles or layers of hell comes from that poem.
Right.
Like your idea of what hell is mostly comes from Dante's Inferno.
It's true. Yep, it's absolutely true.
Even though he mostly wrote it to put politicians he didn't like in magma.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that.
What do you think about titling a game La Divina Commedia?
I mean, it's bold, but if we can call that fighting game Marvel Tokon, why the fuck not?
I feel like that no one's going to remember La Divina
I'm
Commedia.
I'm trying to imagine like the Call of Duty bro in Missouri.
Right.
Like I'm going to pick up Call of Duty, I'm going to pick up this Divine Commedia.
Cletus.
There was an Onion little infographic thing a couple weeks ago that was a poll, right? And it was like we asked 2,500 Americans what their favorite Commedia dell'arte character was, and it's 0% for like 5 of them, and the bottom's just like 100%. I don't know what that is. And I feel like that's what you're gonna get here.
The Onion's on its game right now. It's doing a pretty good job.
You should probably change this thing's name to the Divine Comedy.
I agree. Yeah.
Before,
I understand why they didn't want to.
Anyway.
Right. I understand why they didn't want to call it Dante's Inferno. They probably can't get away with that.
There's probably somehow still some trademark entanglements with EA.
Yeah, they just don't want to deal with it. So I agree they should call it the Divine Comedy, or just change it altogether.
And I know EA is really against remasters and stuff, but I wonder if this could spur them to put out like a remaster of that stupid ass game.
I think that game sold really poorly, so my guess is no.
Yeah, well.
But we've seen some really dumb stuff.
It might be the time. Maybe it was just ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Maybe the levels where you kill babies in Limbo.
Yeah.
Was just, too soon.
Yeah, maybe it's probably
Maybe we're ready now.
I don't think we are, Matt.
No? You don't think so?
I'm not, anyway.
You don't think we're ready for the man who sewed a cross into his own chest?
No.
Apparently out of boredom on his last camping trip out of the Crusades?
That's right.
What a weird game.
Yeah, definitely. And then our last game we're going to talk about specifically is a game that we teased earlier, a game called Road Kings. Speaking of Cletus... This is Cletus's wet dream right here, Matt.
This feels like also right alongside this, they announced that there were console listings found for Euro Truck Simulator 2 and American Truck Simulator.
Yeah.
So we're about to hit the truck simulation wars because these guys.
Is there going to be a metaverse?
Yeah,
maybe?
the Mud Runners and Snow Runners guys were like, all right, we're just going to make our own truck simulator, but with blackjack and hookers.
Yeah.
But in this case, the blackjack and the hookers are hurricanes and tornadoes. So there is no disaster weather in American Truck Simulator, but in this one, apparently, you are a mix of a trucker and the guy Glenn Powell played in Twisters, and you're just gonna drive through the tornado because Walmart needs its paper towels.
This whole trailer is like a wet dream.
It's very funny.
For good old boys.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like they show the cut of them shaking hands. Then they show the cut of them doing the bro hug.
Yeah.
Like this
and he goes up to the authority figure.
This moment right here.
I still got to get through. And he's like, all right.
No, when the cop knows who he is,
knows who he is.
and says, "I know you're a badass. You're gonna go on through."
Nothing I say is gonna change your mind, is it? It's like, you know it.
I mean, this trailer
Just tap the fucking pedal. You're through him at that point. There you go.
This trailer is perfect for this game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is perfect.
I think this looks fun. Like,
I do too.
think this looks
I want to play it. Like, I actually kind of like the Mud Runner and Snow Runner games.
But again, I think I like the idea of those, but they feel very aimless to me. And so taking that kind of mechanical prowess and putting it in something that is a little more forward momentum to it, and I don't mean that as a pun on trucks. I mean, like, guide me a little more.
Right.
Like, that sounds interesting.
I mean, this is another game where Saber and Focus Interactive have those mechanics put into another game.
Yeah.
Where their Snow Runner and Mud Runner mechanics are in this as well. So
like you're gonna mix
turn in a Mud
you're
Runner
gonna mix a
multiverse.
business simulator with Pacific Drive. Yeah, you got my attention there.
Oh, man. But this game
Can I paint that motherfucker up like Optimus Prime and drive through Hurricane Katrina? Yeah. All right. Yeah. You got my attention.
But look, this game definitely caught my eye. It caught a lot of people's eyes. It was in the pre-show. It wasn't even in the main show. It shows you that, like, whoever's picking this stuff for this show doesn't have the best eye. I mean, honestly.
Or Kyle's hoarding all the good shit.
Maybe. I don't think Kyle's the one picking this stuff, by the way.
But wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't it be fun if it was like some kind and draft pick thing? And he's like, Road King. Kyle Bosman picks Road King for the pre-show. And like Keely's like, damn it. Like, that was going to be the closer.
It wouldn't be that surprising, actually. But again, that game is called Road Kings. It's for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series. It's coming in 2026. Yeah. It's if you're like Matt and you like the concepts around the Mud Runner, Snow Runner games, like navigating really complicated terrain in horrible weather, but you want a little more direction, this is probably something you should keep an eye on. Again, it's called Road Kings. And there's a couple other things that I wanted to talk about that we can't really show B-roll of because we'll get copyright strikes. The first was a huge get, in my opinion, for Jeff, and that was the first trailer for Fallout Season 2 on Amazon Prime. I can't believe they all went there. They all went to Germany and went on stage for this. Like, they said that they had just wrapped or whatever, but still, to get the whole cast to go to Germany, to go on stage for like 90 seconds.
I mean, a paid trip to Germany to hang out for a few days after
drink
you just
some
finished
beer
rapping. It probably didn't take that much.
But still, it's awesome that like Jeff got the studio and everybody to get on board and come all the way over there. And
Microsoft is clearly very involved with the show.
Yeah.
Like, it works.
They got the money to grease the palms.
Also, it's one of the few video game show adaptations that is going to be well received by that audience because they did a really good job.
Yeah. Yep.
And now that a lot of those same people are doing the Mass Effect show. Yeah,
it's true.
So, I never thought I'd have some hope for a Mass Effect TV show, but I kind of, I mean, they can do Fallout. They can probably do Mass Effect.
No, you're probably right. Season 2 kicks off on December 17th. So everyone's going to be watching it during the holiday period when everyone's home for the holidays. Here's the thing, though.
Going to New Vegas.
Yeah. The thing is that it's one of those shows that are going to put out a new episode every week. So they're not going to put them all up at once. So you're only going to watch 2 episodes and then the holidays are over or whatever. But yeah, so it's launching on December 17th and it's going to be a weekly show. It's not going to just put all the episodes out and let you watch them when you want.
Nobody with a brain in their head is doing binge drops anymore.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Because you want to keep people talking about them. Like that you keep the hype up for like 6-7 weeks.
Yeah.
And like that's way better.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, they're around the same. It's going to be interesting because they're going head to head with Stranger Things at that same time period.
Yeah.
And Stranger Things is basically 8 feature films. So.
Look, folks.
Look at that.
You're back. Rob Manuel, you've been busy over there on YouTube, brother. And then the final thing I want to discuss is Sekiro No Defeat, which is an anime based on Sekiro, Souls-like, that's coming to Crunchyroll. And that looked really awesome, too. Obviously, Sekiro is one of the few Souls-likes that I actually ended up enjoying. And so I'm interested in this, and it looks really good. But it's going to be a Crunchyroll exclusive, so... You have to be. Do you have to? Can you only subscribe to that? There's
Yeah.
no like Crunchyroll channel, is there?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Maybe someday. It kind of makes sense right now, actually, to launch a Crunchyroll channel.
Somewhat. They've been doing a lot of conglomeration.
You want to get those tweens.
They've kind of cornered the anime market. Well, the tweens watch the syndicated stuff.
Yeah. You can advertise deodorant out the yin yang
Yeah.
on that network. I mean, that's when kids are figuring out what their shaving cream, their deodorant, stuff that they're going to figure out and buy for the rest of their lives. That's why they try to reach. That's why gaming never goes into a recession, because at the end of it all, if companies are squeezing their belts, they still want to make sure they're reaching the really young kids, because they're the ones who decide what they're going to buy and buy it for the rest of their lives. So
Well,
that's
at this point, if you want to do that, the best way is just to put it in Fortnite.
pretty much. Yeah, you don't have to do anything else. You just put it in Fortnite, and there you go. Just
You're
buy
not-
a billboard in Fortnite.
Yeah,
Or
Crunchyroll billboards in Fortnite. There you go.
pretty much that's all you got to do. That's true. Sadly, that's where we're at. But anyway, Sekiro No Defeat. I thought that looked really good. And then I did bring along with me my entire log from, and I know we're small right now. You may not be able to see it. So you saw what we talked about. But this is the log from the show that I took down as the show was happening. And we ended up talking about like 8 or 9 things. So it does show you that there was just a lot of chaff in this presentation. I saw Rob in our YouTube chat talking about a couple games, Valor Mortis and Swords of Legends. Those were right on the bubble for me as far as including them in our discussions.
Valor Mortis looks cool visually, but the fact that it's a survival game kind of made me go.
Me too. And then the other game, Swords of Legends, looked very derivative to me. It looked like another.
I don't remember what that was.
It looked like an anime hack and slash action RPG. It looked okay, but it just didn't make.
Pretty
the cut.
sure I watched that, but I don't remember.
Yeah. A couple other things, like the new Onimusha game was in there.
Yeah.
Daemon Cross Machina, the new game was in there.
Don't forget the train thing.
Yep, Deadpool VR was in there. World of Tanks 2.0. Death by Scrolling is a little indie game that kind of caught fire after the event. What is the name of the Tony Hawk bus game?
Dench Attack.
Dench Attack, that's it. Yeah.
Trains.
Yeah, trains. Yeah, they're like graffiti trains, but you play it like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. That was another game that kind of caught my eye. Cinder City and Time Takers, those are 2 free-to-play shooters from NCSoft that they just blend in with all the others. There's so many of those now, it's hard to keep track of them all. Free-to-play has really taken over, is what my big takeaway probably was from this entire presentation. And then I talked earlier about...
In terms of paid advertising, the free-to-play stuff is clearly the biggest marks.
Yeah, and then like I talked, there's like all these games that are just like these anime free-to-play action RPGs with girls with big boobs and short skirts. There was like 4 or 5 of those. There's one called Fate Trigger, one called The 7 Deadly Sins. They showed another game called Moonlighter. They showed The Outer Worlds 2. They showed Chronos: A New Dawn, which again, I keep beating that drum. What they showed of that game looks frickin' awesome. You guys really need to get this game on your radar. Again, it's called Chronos: A New Dawn. The trailer that they showed had this awesome track that I love from this band called This Mortal Coil. Undoubtedly the first time This Mortal Coil has ever appeared in a trailer for anything. They are so underground.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Because I've heard of them.
Well, This Mortal Coil is a supergroup based on bands from this small label called 4AD. So bands like Cocteau Twins. So it's a supergroup of small indie bands. So I'm surprised you've ever heard of it.
I also know the Cocteau Twins.
Yeah. They're from Poland, from Europe, the developers. My guess is they're fans of This Mortal Coil like I am. A lot of people in Europe know these bands more than people in America do. And they use this awesome song that I love in that trailer. Just another reason for me to love that game. And I said they showed The Outer Worlds 2 as well. They showed the Companions trailer for that where you can see your party or whatever. So there was stuff, but nothing that really set the house on fire and burned it down. So I guess if I did watch the whole show, if I had to give it a letter grade, I'd probably give it like a C+, something like that, a C maybe. But I think this is just what it is now, Matt. I just think that this is what Jeff's shows are going to be. There just aren't enough games being made. There aren't enough games that people have to pay for being made anymore. This is the industry now, for better or worse. It's the mirror. His shows are the mirror of our industry. Whether we want to admit it or like it or not, they are. Like, he's using data to program these shows. That's why he's getting the free-to-play boobs and butts games in here, because that's what people are playing and people are making. So I think if you decide that you don't like Jeff's shows. I think what you're maybe saying in a roundabout way is you're not happy with what's happening in the industry right now.
Well, I don't like Jeff's shows that I want to watch this ridiculous shit on the stage. Like the games are the game. They are the games are the games.
Yeah,
they are what they are.
There's nothing we can do about that.
But I don't need the extra 45 minutes of rigmarole and award show nonsense.
Yeah,
but it's just embarrassing. Like it's just I just don't need to watch.
At a certain point, you're wondering if it's helping or hurting the industry, right?
No, I just don't care.
Yeah,
just show me the trailer. We get on with it. Like I don't need all this jazz. Like it's fine.
Yeah,
like. Bosman's fun. Like I think Kyle's cool, but he's just a pre-show.
Yeah.
He's like pre-show's over, now we got to get on with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is amazing how many of the things that I'm most interested in were in the pre-show.
Yeah. We got some grades rolling in here. AJ the Legend Watson gave it a B-. Nox Ater to Titus. I'll never pronounce it correctly. It says, games aside, I found the show itself very dull. I mean, I'll admit, like, Jeff didn't have any energy.
No.
He was just kind of like a dead fish up there. Like
going east sucks. Like
it does. It's a tough. The last time
if jet lag gets you, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Oh, it's awful. So when we flew to Greece for my last vacation, last real vacation we took. Now it's 3 years ago that I've taken a real vacation. I did not sleep the whole time we were in Athens. We were in Athens for 2.5 days. I never slept. I laid awake all night, 2 nights in a row. The second night, I literally lost my shit. I was like, what is going on? Why can I not sleep? And then we got on a ferry and went to Mykonos. And as soon as we got to Mykonos and I got in the hotel room, I sat on the bed and passed out. And I slept for 18 hours. Like, it's tough. Like, no, there is no doubt that going from the U.S., particularly all the way from the West Coast, into Europe is burly. The jet lag is real. There's no doubt about it. But he was just, like, dead. The other thing I would say, too, this is the first time that I saw Jeff where he looked like he was getting old.
Yeah,
I mean, I know I already look that way, like, but it was the first time that I saw Jeff, and I'm like, you look like you're in your 50s now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the tides of time, you can't stop them. Father Time is undefeated. And I don't know if that has anything to do with it, him getting older or whatever. He just didn't have a lot of energy for the show. Now, his co-host, the girl that he hires from Europe to do it, was great. Mm-hmm. She did great reading the prompter. She had tons of energy. Even for the smallest stuff, she was excited. But you just wonder, at a certain point, even Jeff is like, okay, like, I have to fake getting excited over this crap now, you know? And maybe that's when it's time to find another host who doesn't have to fake being excited.
There weren't nearly as many things this year where he could talk about how he saw them last summer.
Right. Yeah.
I got to play this a year ago before you even knew it existed.
He did say that a couple times. Like, he talked about the Resident Evil Requiem scene. He's like, I know what happens after this, basically.
Yeah, I know, dude.
He's like, it's a cliffhanger. Everybody doesn't know, but I know, you know, that type of thing. But whatever. I mean, that's just nitpicking. But generally, his energy level was pretty low for this show. And I do get it. It's probably, to him, the least important of the 3 that he does every year.
Probably.
But maybe it's time for him to find a host for this stuff,
or maybe just someone who lives in that time zone.
Yeah,
you know, it's hard to fly that far, work on all that shit. He's the one who has to, you know, probably approve and make sure everything's running right. It's his show, it's his company. I'm sure he delegates as best he can, but you still have to get eyes on to make sure everything is the way you want it.
Yeah.
And then to get up there and have to host this thing, maybe who knows how long he's been in Germany? Because I know when I go to Europe, like day 3 is when it really hits me. Yeah. And like I'll tell you, even if I had to stand up on stage and host something, I don't know if there's much I could do outside of like hard drugs to like pull myself out of the stupor.
Well, I got to the point where I was like, I'm gonna go find sleeping pills.
I don't see that. I just like, I hit a point where I just don't function anymore. I fall asleep. I'm just tired. All I want to do is go to sleep. To the point that one time when I had to go to England, I was there for a few days before anyone else got there. Adam Sessler got there, and he came into town, checked in, and we went to go have dinner at this place he liked in Guildford, this Indian place. And we were sitting there, and in the middle of conversations, I was falling asleep, like between sentences.
Couldn't help it. Yeah.
And I'm like, you put me on stage at that moment, and I would probably be just as low energy as. And I don't know for sure that's what happened to him, but I just a couple of clips I saw, like that could have been it. I mean, it's a hard thing to do, to be on all the time, especially when you've done it so many times. It's almost by rote to you at this point. Especially if you're not afraid anymore.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's no way that Jeff would be nervous about being on stage anymore. He's done it for 20 years plus.
Yeah.
So like to him, it's just sort of like Tuesday, you
Yeah.
know, and it's like literally Tuesday. And it's like, well, who knows, you know? Because he doesn't act like that here.
No, he doesn't. The Legacy says, I don't need to hear that Jeff played some game months after showing a trailer. I think sometimes he just doesn't know what to say afterwards. He's like, you got to find small talk after every trailer. Sometimes there's nothing to say.
I mean, I think he means that in the sense of like, you know, I'm personally engaged with this, so I can attest that it's, you know, it's in my show and I've played it and I can vouch for its quality. You know, it's like I've had hands-on time. Yeah. I think that's his intention, but it comes off as like, basically,
I know what you don't know.
Basically, comes off as the video game equivalent of name dropping.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
But I think what he means when he does that is to say like, I didn't put this in the show out of like nothing. I had hands-on time with it, so it's in my show because I know I like it.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's
giving his stamp of approval, basically. Yeah.
It's just there's got to be a better way to. Maybe it needs a little Jeff hands-on icon in the corner when it runs it. So, like this picture of him with his hands up.
That's hilarious.
It means Jeff played it last summer. That's what that means.
We got the phonetics for Aternitis. It is I turn ititis. I turn ititis.
I turn a tight.
I turn a. No, it's I turn a
tatus.
I turn a tatus.
I turn a tatus. I think that's a Warhammer thing.
I turn a tatus.
Sure. Nox, I turn a tatus.
Okay.
I think that's a Warhammer.
Erebus says B+. The show sucked. It was a B+. But it was a good selection of games. He-Man, Outlaws, Dawn of War 4, COD, Outer Worlds, Indie Expansion. Yeah, there's a lot there for me. Okay. Ashes and the Hourglass says A+, because I didn't watch it. And just with the Sifted, it's always going to be an A+. That's how you got to do it.
I guess that's true.
Sanuku, C+. Eric Cartmenis, B+. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 part was great. It really was. Yeah. And then Akuma Batata says, the games aside, I found the show itself very dull. We said that one already. Any other grades in here? Eric Cartmenis says, Chronos is a day one purchase for me. It looks hot, man. Go. There's a demo of it up on Sifted right now, like a 20-minute gameplay sec. It's awesome, man. It's really flying under the radar. You guys should really go follow it on Sifted. Go to its game page, click the little gear next to its title, and in the drop down there, click follow. And then everything that we curate for that game will appear at the top of your Sift going forward. And you won't miss anything about Chronos. Again, it's one of those under-the-radar games that I think is looking really hot.
And that's like September 4th or something?
Yeah, it's coming soon. Yeah.
Right. I think it's the same day as Hell Is Us.
I think it may be. Yeah.
A busy week.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the rest of the year pretty much is kind of awesome. December's slow, but the rest of the year, GameFace is going to rock people.
December's not slow. It's got the Game Awards.
Right. You're right, though. That saves our asses pretty much. The second week of the month, it saves our asses every year. Zen Shoryuken says, Densha Attack looks awesome. Yeah, it's definitely one of the games that I came away with, like, saying, okay, that looks awesome. Sanuku also says, I don't get why there's no Silent Hill anime. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cinetype says Pragmata. Well, Pragmata was not shown in Jeff's thing, but now reports are coming out today. We have a bunch of hands-on previews of that curated to Sifted right now. If you're on the site earlier today, you may have seen those already. But otherwise, I didn't have time to really watch those and then prepare something to talk about here on the show.
I was surprised there was no Borderlands.
Yeah. But
maybe
why? Do we need it?
No, we absolutely do not need any more Borderlands stuff, but I was just surprised given the Blitz is on for that.
Yep.
Maybe it's not a huge Europe game. I don't know.
Yeah. Andy T.
Maybe it's not exceptional yet.
Andy T. Monhan said, and that was the happiest 90 seconds. Jeff looked the entire show. You're right, Andy. Mm-hmm. While the Fallout 2 stuff was happening, he was in the zone. He was, you're right, Andy. That's a great observation. He was like a different person during that compared to the rest of the show.
He probably worked really hard on that.
My guess is yeah. I mean, to land that is a pretty big deal.
Like, that might have been the fruition of like a year of work.
Seriously. Yep. You could kind of see it on his face. Anything else in here? I don't think so. Vincent says, those truck sims were officially announced during Future Game Show today. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. That's Gamescom 2025. Oh, wait a minute. Dave's Hot Chickens. Oh, I love Dave's Hot Chicken. I love that restaurant. I eat there at least once every 2 weeks. It's literally like the best hot chicken chain of all of them, I think. But yeah, first time chat. That's awesome. Welcome. Can you send me some free sandwiches? Some gift certificates? That'd be great. Dave's Hot Chicken says made by the same team that made Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, another asymmetrical horror game that I played for like 2 days and never went back to. Yeah,
I'm a fan of the Cluckin' Chicken.
Yeah. Cinetike says I went to SIFTD, so I didn't realize what was on Jeff's show or not. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. Unfortunately, Pragmata was not in there, although he probably could have got it in there. That probably was a decision on his part. Because there's a playable demo at Gamescom, so he probably could have made something happen. And then Rob Manuel reminding us it was Dench Attack.
Dench Attack.
Yeah. Definitely want to keep an eye on. It's like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater with graffiti trains.
Densha is Japanese for train.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that, actually. I should know that, though.
Densha de Go.
Yeah.
Is those train sims.
Yep. All right. Well, that's going to do it for Gamescom 2025. We'll probably talk about it a little bit in next week's episode because inevitably some other stuff. We're going to see Silk Song tomorrow. Maybe we'll talk about that now that we see it. And I'm probably just going to say.
Now we see it without Jeff in front of it.
We'll just see it and be like, why are you guys freaking out about this game? It's just a Metroidvania. Like, I still don't understand why it's become such a huge thing.
There's a point at which not having the thing becomes the thing.
You're right. You're right. Yep. All right. Let's move on. We're going to talk next about Madden NFL 26, and I promise you, not for very long, so don't leave the stream. I realize most of you people do not care about sports games, but let's be honest, a lot of people do. I'm actually surprised at how many NFL fans we have on SIFTD. So I'm going to talk about Madden for 10 minutes.
I mean, way before the chat came back, Vortex Complex did say, I do like sport game.
Yeah. He said, I do like sport game. That kind of says it all, doesn't it? Actually, you know what? Before we talk about Madden, let's just talk about the repair app first.
Cracked phone screen, stuck zipper, busted bike, borked HDMI port, persnickety PlayStation? Don't toss it, boss it with the repair app. The mission is to build a world where repair is the norm, not the exception. Snap a pic, describe the issue, and find local pros ready to fix it fast. It's not a marketplace, it's a movement that saves your stuff, your sanity, and the planet. No fees, no credit cards, no data collection, no stress. Just fast and fabulous fixes. Track your items and the repairs, log warranties, build a repair history, and become the hero your stuff deserves. Fight landfill guilt, save some cash, and support local business all at the same time. And best of all, it's free. Join the Repair App waiting list today at therepair.app and be among the first to get access. Fix it, keep it, repeat, because trash is so last century.
I know we have a lot of conscientious viewers here on SIFTD and on GameFace. You guys care about the environment. You care about where all your stuff is going. You care about sustainability. You care about not having landfills all over America. And believe it or not, we're starting to run out of space. I do wonder, Matt, like, have we thought about just all the Midwest states where there's nothing but cattle? Like, maybe.
Well, here's the actual weird. If you take all the refuse for everything, you could put it all in like a little patch in Kansas about the size of a football field.
Right.
Like, there's not. It's more about the logistics of transporting it. You know,
getting it there.
If there was no logistics, you could just shoot it all into space.
And then all this stuff in the ground that leaks out and poisons the earth. That's obviously a problem as well. Well, the repair app fixes all this.
Very specifically, it's like electronic and e-waste. I mean, obviously, that's the thing you got to worry about the most. I got a bunch of swollen lithium batteries I got to take to the recycling.
It's hard to figure out where to take that stuff.
The library here.
Yeah, it's weird.
All the LA libraries have lithium battery recycling services.
When I worked at MTV, I could take that stuff in there. For whatever reason, they had a disposal place there where we could take our stuff in. Once I left there, I don't have anywhere to take the stuff. Like, my wife's company doesn't have that, so...
Take it to the library.
Really? Is that where you can take it?
Every LA library has a e-waste disposal program.
Actually, Matt, I have a better idea. How about you use the repair app to get it fixed and you don't throw it away at all?
Well, unless the lithium battery's really swollen.
I know. I'm just joking. You get what I'm throwing down. Yeah. But that's what the repair app is all about.
Yes.
Because here's the thing. Like, you just heard Matt and I converse about it very briefly. It's very complicated. What to do with all this crap that we're throwing away. It's like, it is a little better now, Matt, that, like, people aren't buying a new phone every year. Because for a long time...
You can't afford it.
For a long time, everybody was buying a new phone every year.
The early iPhone era and the early Android era.
Because it was kind of worth it. Because the upgrades
were very significant.
Right. Now they're not. So at least people are keeping their phones for like 3 or 5 years now. And here's the thing, like if you're like me, most people only get rid of their old phone because the battery doesn't work anymore. Figure it out with the Repair app. Go and sign up right now at the repair.app. Give them your email address. They'll let you know when the app is live. And then you can take that phone in and get the battery replaced instead of throwing it away. There was also a long period of time, Matt, where I would like sell my old phone on eBay. And a lot of times you could see that they were bought by people who lived in countries where, you know, they weren't making a lot of money. Like, you know, maybe sometimes it was like a third world country or whatever. I felt good about that. I was like, okay, like my old iPhone 5 that's now ancient now, like I don't want it. But this person in India, it's like the greatest thing that they've ever owned. That doesn't really happen anymore like it used to. So again, the Repair app is coming in to fill this void, to help us feel better about getting rid of our electronics. At least we will know that yes, it's okay to get rid of them after we've gone through the process with the Repair app and someone tells us who knows that that cannot be repaired. So go to the repair.app, TheRepair.app. Give them your email address. They'll alert you when they're ready to go, and then start collecting all your stuff to get fixed. It's not just electronics. It's that old pair of jeans that you love that fit you just perfect, but the zipper popped or whatever, or the button fell off. All this stuff can be fixed instead of thrown away. Go to the repair.app. All right, now we're going to talk about Madden NFL 26. The first thing I'm going to say about this, and again, I don't want to talk about it too long because I know that a lot of people don't give a crap about sports games. The first thing I'm going to say is that this feels like the first worthy Madden game in a long time. So if you're someone who buys a Madden game, and actually I want to stop this B-roll right here. If you're someone who buys a Madden game like once every 3 or 4 years, this is the one. Here you go. This is the one that you should get. Now, my first gripe about this game, Matt, is as soon as you boot it up, the first thing that you see is Ultimate Team. Look at this. They throw this is the first time you boot it up. It's like claim your Ultimate Team crap right away. That's the first thing that pops up. You jump through a couple menus, it throws you right back to Ultimate Team again. Like EA is not even like trying to be sly about it anymore. It's like, look, you guys like to gamble? We got a gambling app. Here you go. I will say this though. I don't want to get into too much of Ultimate Team because I want to talk about it separately. But it feels like it was the least updated thing in the whole game, which is weird. If it's your moneymaker, you would think that that would be what you would put most of your focus on.
Although, if it ain't broke.
I think that might be it. I think that they're like, man, we're making so much money off this thing.
Don't fuck with the addiction
Seriously.
app.
They're like, we got the algorithm right at this point, and let's just keep doing it because we're making money hand over fist off of this game. But, Matt, it's offensive. You spend $60, $70 on a game, and the first thing that happens when you boot it up is they're trying to squeeze you for more money. It's like, what is going on here? It's crazy.
It's in the game.
Seriously.
If you pay
your wallet's in the game if you're going to play Madden. So anyway,
your credit card number needs to be in the game or you're not going to be able to...
Yep, seriously. So once I got past all the advertisements for Ultimate Team and I actually got into the game, I started off playing Superstar, and this is what you're seeing right now, where you create a player.
Okay, I thought your first thing would be to go in and remove Rodgers from the Steelers.
Oh, wait. Just wait, Matt. Just wait for the B-roll, brother. You just ruined my joke, by the way. That's okay.
I didn't know you could do that.
You absolutely can. But anyway, I started off with Superstar, where you create your... And this used to be called Long Shot. And it had these cinematics where you're this young player.
Yeah, used to have Mahershala Ali.
Right. And now this is what it is. It's these static screens of you sitting there.
So you're John Madden.
I just named my guy John Madden, yep. And this is it. And you answer...
I want to play my football.
Seriously. You answer a couple questions, and it's like, do you care about the fans, or do you care about being a better player? You have to, like, choose, basically.
If I care about moving the ball down the field and getting the ball over the line into the end zone, you score the touchdown, that's how you win the game.
Yep. And the big new mechanic in the Superstar mode this time is this thing called Sphere of Influence, where you have agents and fans, and you're trying to balance yourself as being a good player or pleasing the fans, basically. And it's, I don't know, it felt very frivolous and stupid to me. I don't feel like they're ever going to get this mode right. Like, as far as, like, the story stuff, it's like they just completely got rid of it. It feels like
they're spinning a wheel to decide what this thing should be every time.
Yeah, there's no voiceover. They got rid of all the voiceover from it. They just sit there silently in their flappy jaws.
That looked like a mobile game to me.
Yeah.
Like when they're the cutscene there.
I think EA's perspective on this is like, it's less embarrassing when it looks like you're not trying. They're just like, we're just going to mail it in, and then people won't expect much. Now, I'll say this. Once you get past sort of the frivolities of it.
I love that idea. It's like, this is terrible. Well, we didn't try,
yeah,
so who cares?
Seriously. I mean, that's what it looks like. Once you get past sort of the...
yes, the Lunar Snake Glow bundle. As everyone knows.
I mean, that's the other thing. Every mode in this, they're trying to get you to spend money.
Right.
Every mode. They're like, here's something to make it easier. Like the single-player stuff, which, whatever. Like, if somebody wants to pay extra money so it's easier for their superstar player to become good, or they become good faster, okay. Like, I don't have a problem with that. As long as they don't mess with, like, online competition. I'm okay with... If people want to waste their money on dumb crap, let them. So anyway, once you get past the frivolities and the stupid cinematics that are even worse than what came before it, the superstar mode is actually quite fine. Like, once you decide, you start talking to your agents, you go to the combine, you go through the combine, set your times for everything, then you go to the NFL draft. Here you're doing the interview with, like, prospective coaches to kind of set your ratings at the combine. Once you go through the combine, you go to draft. There's horrible looking Goodell. Did they okay this? I mean, seriously, did Roger Goodell say this is okay?
There's no soul behind those eyes.
Oh my God.
Which I guess is true.
Dude, what the hell?
But that is bad.
Here's the thing. The rest of the game is stunning. Like,
I'm
literally,
sure he's just like, did I get paid a pittance for my... Yeah, who cares?
The in-game... Here's the other thing that made a big leap with this year's game is the graphics. I know looking at this, you don't want to believe it, and I can understand that.
No, the in-game stuff looks really good.
The in-game stuff is, like, mind-blowing how good it looks. Like, literally, it was a huge
I know technically
step
this
up.
is in-game, but I mean in the game.
Right. And then, so superstar mode, you get drafted. I ended up getting drafted by the Giants. You go through practices, you go through preseason, you earn points that you use to level up the character that you got. Then you go into the regular season where you try to become the starter at your position. I was a quarterback, so it makes it a little harder than other positions. And then you just play through the season as you want to. And this mode has great simming options. One thing I really like about this game is that, like, every mode allows you to sim just to the important moments. So if you don't want to play a 20-minute quarters that take you an hour and a half to complete one game, you can play just through the pivotal moments in the games. And that is on every mode.
Well, they finally learned from Road to the Show.
Seriously. It's a really, really nice feature, and it made me stick with these modes a lot more than I usually do. So you get drafted, you go to training camp, you become the starter, and then you live on as the player, and eventually you retire, and blah, blah, blah. Superstar mode's really great. Ultimate Team, as I mentioned earlier, it's pretty much the same. I could not spot hardly any differences in Ultimate Team. The one thing I did notice is, like, so Ultimate Team, the way it works is you play through these missions, and each mission has, like, 3 different difficulty settings that you can play through or whatever. And as you play through those missions and complete them, you earn points that you can use to then buy more cards. And Ultimate Team, if you don't know, if you've been living under a rock for the last 15 years, it's basically just fantasy football. You get cards with a player, and you can put that player in your lineup, and you go and play games with this hodgepodge of players that you've collected using cards. And one thing that they did change this season that I think is a good change is that they allow you to play stuff against other humans a lot more easily and a lot more frequently. Like, when I go to play through one of the missions, it will show me any of you guys that are playing Madden at that time. I can call you guys in to play with that cooperatively. But now, there's also these other missions that you can complete in Ultimate Team that let you play head-to-head against other human beings. And the matchmaking is, like, instantaneous. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, I'll try this. And before I could even put the controller down, I was already matched up with somebody and playing the mode. So, Ultimate Team, a little more interactive with other players, but otherwise, it's the same damn thing that you've been playing all this time. You earn points playing through the mini games and the missions. You spend those points to get cards. When you first boot it up, they give you like 5 packs of free cards or whatever. There's a huge presentation, like a loot box when you open up each pack of cards to get you excited about it. That's Ultimate Team. And they really haven't changed much of it at all. So here you can see, this is what I was talking about. Let me see how many seconds. 4 seconds. And I matched up with somebody to play this little mission with a real human. So that's pretty cool. But that was really like the only big change that I saw in Ultimate Team at all. The big changes for this year's game were made in franchise mode, which honestly is the mode that I play more than anything. And that's just where you pick your favorite team and you do everything. You're the coach, you're the GM, you play the games out. The system has insane minutia, and I would argue that maybe it's gotten to the point where it's just like ridiculous and kind of going overboard. First you pick a coach and your coaching style, then you pick like a handful of coaching archetypes for your coach. You manage scouts, you hire and develop coordinators to create your coaching tree and to create new plays. You create a weekly game plan for each game you're about to play. You upgrade all your players with skill points and practice sessions. You can play as the GM, just trading players. You can assign buffs to your team for each week, these little icons that you assign to your squad. And if you're playing a team that's really bad against the run, you can like boost your run blocking for the week or whatever. There's all that kind of stuff. Just like I mentioned earlier in Ultimate Team and the other modes, there's great simming options. There's just so much going on that it just literally can feel overwhelming at times. And there's so many menus to navigate and like buttons to hold while you press this other button. It really felt opaque. It took me a good 2 days to even just come to grips with all the stuff I was supposed to be doing in franchise mode. And of course, in franchise, you can play online with 32 other humans. Like, it really feels like Madden at this point has almost got to a bloat stage where there's a bunch of stuff in these modes that even I am not all that interested in actually playing and partaking in. But most importantly, the modes are whatever. Ultimately, when the rubber hits the road, it's what does it feel like to play. And one thing I will say is a couple weeks ago, I saw an interview with this guy who worked on Madden 09 and Madden 10. Those are the last Maddens that he worked on. And he explained how with Madden 11, they completely changed how you control players. And now, the way that Madden works is your player is basically just positioned on this dot, and it just runs animation routines on top of the dot. The old games would actually use momentum of the players and use physics to decide if a player was tackled or not, or if they made the cut sharp enough. Now it's just all these pre-canned animations. And so it's not organic or driven by physics anymore, and it hasn't been for a long time, but I will say, like, at this point, they've gotten pretty good at it. As far as, like, the collisions and whether they make sense with the speed and the weight of the players and all that. In this game, it feels really, really good. And again, it's faked, but they've done a really good job of faking it. So this is the best feeling in playing Madden that I have played in probably, like, 4 years. As far as when you have the ball in your hands, does it feel realistic? Do the jukes feel realistic? Does the timing, does the speed, the juking of other players, are they able to stop quickly or not as quickly? Like, everything feels extremely realistic while you're playing the game, except for the fact that I don't know why my receivers will not catch the ball. It doesn't matter how wide open they are, how perfect the pass is, it just bounces off their hands. I've never caught a ball, ever, while my players are being hit. Not once. And I use the catch button every time. When I throw the ball, I'm not relying on manual or on automatic catches. I try to manually catch the ball with the catch button, and it still bounces off their hands. I don't know what's going on. I searched around online, and people in general are just saying that they can't score in the game. I haven't had a problem running the ball, but I cannot pass. I can't. I don't know what it is. Like, every once in a while, I'll connect on, like, a lucky one or whatever. But just as far as, like, using the passing game as a tool, I've not been able to do it. So I don't know what the deal is there. That seems like something that could be patched out very easily, but everything else feels amazing. Like playing defense, playing offense, running with the ball, running to make tackles, tackling, all that stuff feels great. Again, it's the best that it's felt in probably 4 or 5 years. Now, it's not perfect. Like, I found all kinds of crazy glitches in this, Matt. I found a glitch, Matt, where the prior play didn't count. I had like a 3rd and 8, and I got like 15 yards, and they just started to play over again at 3rd and 8. The announcing in this gets stuff wrong all the time. They'll talk about teams that aren't even playing in the game. Like, just random. It's so bizarre. But, like, graphically, it's the best looking football game ever made. The weather in this looks better than it's ever looked. The jerseys, while playing in the weather, stunning. Snow, better than it's ever looked in a video game. This little stuff that happens between plays looks amazing. Like, usually I turn off this stuff, like the crowds and stuff. It looks so good, I left it on.
Eric Cartmena says he's seen a 5th down.
Yeah, it's crazy, the stuff. Yeah, he's saying load the box against Shane. That's funny. But I have just seen insane bugs in this. And again, that's pretty typical of Madden. Like, it usually takes them about a month or two to kind of iron out a lot of this stuff. I don't know why. They should have the budget to squash that stuff before they release the game. But there's all kinds of problems. The commentary is just a disaster. But again, as far as the presentation and the graphics are concerned, it's a huge step up. As far as the core tenets of playing NFL football, running, tackling, throwing, all that kind of stuff feels great. The receivers just can't catch. That's really my only big gripe with actually playing the game. So I've had a great time with Madden NFL 26. I'll probably be playing it here at least for a couple more weeks before I get tired of it. So if you want to play against me and the Steelers, I'm at Dinfire on PlayStation 5. Hit me up and let's play some Madden. But I guess what I would say to close it out is that this is the best Madden in like half a decade. And so if you're the guy who doesn't buy Madden every year and you wait for people like me to say, this is the one that you should buy, this is the one that you should buy. So Madden NFL 26, pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty damn good playing and definitely amazing looking. I mean, I remember back with NFL 2K on Dreamcast, back when my wife and I were just boyfriend and girlfriend living in Philadelphia. You can see there.
What the hell
Yeah,
was
that's
that?
another sore spot. The touchdown celebrations are busted. Like, you can see there, his head wasn't even touching the ground. It's like, what is going on? So that stuff's kind of messed up. But this game is literally like photorealistic. Back with NFL 2K, my wife walked into our apartment in Philly one time and was like, why is there a game on Wednesday night? I'll always remember that. And that was NFL 2K on the Dreamcast. Last night I was playing this, and she's like, I thought the Steelers don't play until Thursday. And they do play Thursday. I'm like, it's Madden. She's like, oh my God. And she walked up. She loves football. She's a huge Steelers fan. She walked up to the TV and put her face a foot away from the TV with her mouth hanging open and was like, oh my God. She's like, I cannot believe games look like this now. Like, these are the games that impress the casuals because they have something to compare it to.
Right.
And it blew her mind. So, yeah, game looks good, game plays good, got some quirks to work out, but that's very typical of Madden. It usually takes about 6 weeks for the really hardcore pro players to communicate to EA, this is the stuff that's messed up, the stuff you need to fix, and they'll fix it. But I enjoyed playing it in its launch form. I had a good time with it. And I think if you enjoy Madden and you enjoy NFL football, this is a good game to buy, and I think you will not regret it, despite some of its shortcomings. Let me look at chat here and see if there's any questions. I'm sure there's a million. You guys are all big Madden fans. Eric Cartman says these animations are similar to College Football 26. They are. There's a lot of carryover. And in fact, there's some specific glitch in College Football 26 that has already been fixed in College Football 26, and it's in Madden. It hasn't been fixed yet. So they didn't have the foresight to say, hey, this is a problem in college football. We should fix that in Madden before we ship Madden. They didn't. That never occurred to them. So there's lots of bugs that they're going to be fixing. Eric asked, did you play the Switch version? I have not. There isn't one. There isn't one yet. There's no Switch 2 version. Or is there? No, there is. Yeah, there is. No, I have not played it, but I've watched videos of it. We've curated a couple of those on SIFTD, but I haven't seen it myself. How's the soundtrack? I'm not a big hip-hop guy. I liked hip-hop in the 80s when it was about, like, breakdancing and spray painting graffiti and stuff. Like, I don't really like
it in the 90s when it was storytelling about basically the thug life.
Right.
And just sort of like poetry.
Yeah. What is rap about now? It's just money and cars and
how cool I am.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff.
I don't care about that anymore. So I don't.
No, I'm a Bone Thugs and Harmony guy at heart, which I'm
like a Run DMC guy. So
I like them too. But I like a fun rap song. I like that. But like Bone Thugs, like one of my professors like snuck a Bone Thugs lyric into our poetry class, and he's just like, I was checking if you all knew who this was, and I was like, this is Bone Thugs and Harmony. He's like, there's poetry happening in hip hop right now, and you need to pay attention to it. And he was right.
I'll say this: if you like modern hip hop, you're gonna like the soundtrack. And so you guys, I say this all the time. I turn down the music when I record footage of games. Usually, I go back and turn it back up. In this case, I did not. I just left it down. Because the other thing, too, is that like they play music in the stadium, and I have to turn that down because if you put that up, it gets copyright strikes. Anyway.
I learned a new term for the aughts era of hip-hop, ringtone rap. It's for all the rap that you can only listen to for the length of a ringtone before you just desperately want to turn it off.
That's funny. AJ the Legend Watson says, is it true defenders must have sight on the ball to intercept it as opposed to previous entries? I'll say this. I have not had the crazy linebacker jump 20 feet into the air to intercept balls like they did in last year's game. Like, last year's game, I also couldn't pass very well. It wasn't quite as hard as it is in this one. This one, the guys just don't catch the ball. In last year's game, they intercepted every freaking pass. Linebackers had like a 5-foot vertical leap or whatever. That seems to be gone. Like, that part of the game is out. But again, there's this other problem where the receivers just won't catch the damn ball. So one problem has been replaced with another one. Hopefully they can get that fixed. That should be an easy tweak for EA to make. But as far as like defenders having sight of the ball to intercept it, I don't know. I think that's something maybe you discover after you've played it for like 100 hours. I've only played like 15 or something like that. But all I know is that you don't have the insane like, oh, I'm going to complete a pass, and this dude just springs out of nowhere and jumps like 20 feet in the air and snags the ball. That all seems to be gone. So at least they fixed that in Madden 26. So, and I do want to let you know, AJ, we may not get to it because we're not going to talk about Madden long enough. I did put some Rams in the B-roll for you at a certain point, but I don't think we're going to make it there because I'm kind of done talking about it, and the B-roll's still running. So anyway, that's Madden NFL 26. Again, I recommend if you have not bought a Madden for a few years, this is the one that you should buy. It looks good. It plays good. There's a couple slight issues that it feels like they can fix pretty easily, and I'm pretty confident that eventually they will. All right. It's time to move on to another sports game, but this is one that I think more people will be interested in, but you probably shouldn't be. And this is Drag X Drive. I'm not even sure if that's what
it's Drag and Drive.
Is Drag and Drive?
I don't know why there's an X.
Yeah.
But they in the direct, they called it Drag and Drive.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about Drag and Drive. It is a wheelchair basketball game for Switch 2. And I have to admit, Matt, there's been times that I've thought about this game, and I wonder if like people who play wheelchair basketball are excited for this or if it's offensive to them.
I mean, in the sense that it's bad?
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
Or maybe they're just happy that they have a game of their sport.
Maybe. I mean, I bet they'd prefer it if they were in it.
Right, yeah. Well,
because there's leagues and stuff, right?
Yeah, there are, yeah. And there's, I think it's in like, is it in the Olympics or the...
Yeah, there was an Olympic version.
Yeah, I think there is, actually. It's like a legit thing, and I have a lot of respect for people that play.
Definitely Paralympics, but I think they did try it out as an actual Olympic, didn't they?
Maybe.
I don't remember.
I know it's in the Paralympics for
I don't know,
sure.
man. If chess can be an Olympic sport.
Seriously, video games can be an Olympic sport. This should definitely be an Olympic sport. But this is a 3-on-3 wheelchair basketball game, and I'm going to flip so you can see me here so I can explain how this game plays. So... this game is played 100% with 100%. You cannot play this game in any other way. You cannot play it with the Pro Controller. You can't play it with the Joy-Cons normally. The only way you can play is turning the Switch 2 Joy-Cons on their side and using them as their mouse controls. And so if you push them both forward, you go forward. If you pull them both back, you go backwards. If you do this, you'll turn to the right. If you do this, you'll turn to the left. And a big part of the game is learning that. It's like, how much speed can I get when I push? And if you hold the shoulder buttons, you can stop on a dime, and that's handy because otherwise you're just going to roll off the court in some cases. But you have to learn that like once I have the speed going, how much do I need to do sort of the side-to-side thing to turn? Because one thing that I found in this game very quickly is that the turning radius is really tight. And once you get used to it, it's good because it means you can turn and go back up court very quickly. But at first, it's like, oh, I just want to turn a little bit to the left, and you'd end up like spinning around to the left. So it is very sensitive. The other thing I would say, too, is that like, I know these controls sound crazy. They work really, really well. Like, one thing you start doing, first of all, I didn't play it on a table. I was playing it on my pants. And the first thing I'll say is like, what pants you're wearing matters. Like, if I was wearing, like, shorts like this that are, like, stiffer material, it works better because the material doesn't move and bunch up under the Joy-Con. But then I was wearing, like, a pair of, like, basketball shorts to play at another time, and the material kept getting caught under the Joy-Con, and I couldn't get up to top speed very quickly. So what you're wearing actually matters in this, because most people do not play video games with a table in front of them to play it on. You're going to play it on your legs. If you do play it on a table, and even on your legs in some cases, the controls are very responsive and very accurate. After a while, I got very good at this game. So The controls, it's like a barrier to entry, and a lot of people aren't going to want to play video games that way, but they are really well executed. The other thing, too, is that, like, as you start to play, you learn that it doesn't matter how hard you're doing it. As long as you just do it smoothly, you'll gain top speed. So after, like, an hour of playing this, you kind of get into the groove to where you don't have to think about it anymore. The chair is just going where you want it to go. That's the good part of Drag and Drive. The bad part is that you actually have to play it eventually. And they're 3-on-3 games. They're not, they don't play to like a certain score. It's a timer, just like basketball. So whoever scores the most amount of points in X amount of time wins the match. In between matches, you have this like warehouse area that you're seeing right now that has a bunch of stuff in it. So you can go through bowling pins to have fun, but there's also missions. There's like little racing missions that you can play. There's time trials that you can play. There's leaderboards that you can look at. There's other races where you actually compete against other people live. And basically how it works is once you're in a lobby, you can play 2 games of the actual basketball, and then they make you play a mini game. And then in between the actual games of basketball, you can just roll around the environment and you can pick up other like side missions if you want to. But it's very short-lived, the entertainment value of. There's only like 3 different like mini games in the warehouse, and pretty much you're just racing most of the time. And they lose their allure pretty quickly. It's really all about the basketball. But the problem is that like when you're playing the basketball game, you have to rely on the other people. As you can see right there, there's 3 different wheelchairs that you can choose from. They all have different elements. You don't really like build up your chairs and like increase their speed or anything throughout the course of the game or the course of playing the game. You get those 3 options, and that's pretty much it. You have to figure out what works for you. There are cosmetics in the game. As you win matches, you win like gold rings that will appear on your character's hand. But like you'll see eventually, I customize my character, and you still can't really tell. Like the wheels on my chair are yellow, and like the blue visor is like yellow. There's really not a lot to kind of set your character apart, which means you have very little motivation to keep playing because you have to play with other people. And one thing I've found, I've played a lot of sports games online. I have never played with selfish people like the people that are playing this game. They will not pass the ball to somebody else to save their life. You'll see in the B-roll eventually how many times I am streaking down the court by myself, waving my hands, asking for the ball. Nobody ever gives you the ball. Everybody just gets the ball and tries to go from one end to the other and score. If they don't, it goes back the other way. Playing defense in this, you can knock the ball away. If you hit someone else in their chair head on, it'll send the ball flying. If you bump them from like the side or from behind, it'll slow them down and stop them, but they won't actually dispossess the ball. So the only way to get the ball from somebody is to hit them face first with the chair, and then the ball pop up, and then it's a free-for-all to get the ball. And like it's a little bit like Rocket League, where like you need the camera to follow the ball, but it doesn't follow the ball as well as it does in Rocket League. And then there are tricks, like you can go up to transitions and jump, and you can do a dunk from a jump. You can do like a backflip. But again, like those things are pretty pointless. Like the shooting in the game, you're not trying to be accurate. So what you want to do before you go to shoot is you got to make sure your chair is lined up perfectly in line with the basket, and then you shoot. And it doesn't matter if you shoot to the side or whatever. It's more about the wrist motion. And as long as you do that and don't do it too hard, you pretty much make every shot as long as you're lined up with the basket. So there's not a lot of skill with shooting the ball, which makes like doing the dunks and things like that pointless. And actually, in a lot of cases, are like low percentage shots. And that's pretty much it. That is all there is to Drag and Drive. There's 3-on-3 matches, and then the little mini games that you play out around the arenas while you're waiting for the next match to start. And like I said, at certain points they make you play through mini games and won't let you just keep playing, which is also weird. There's like 2 lobbies. There's a public lobby, and the lobbies in this are these big rooms that you're seeing right here. This is a lobby. And there's like 15 or 20 players just kind of milling around in there. Some of them are doing mini games. Some of them just sit and just observe the games that are happening or whatever. So there is a little bit of waiting around where like you join a room and you have to wait for the game to finish before you can join the next game. And that way it's a little bit like playing basketball on a playground, honestly. But bottom line is there's just not enough depth to the game. You have to have very specific conditions to play the game as far as like using the mouse controls on your legs or on a table or whatever. I mean, I will say this. I'm impressed with the mouse controls on Switch 2, Matt. Like, navigating menus on this, you have to put it on a table and use it like a real mouse, and it is crazy responsive. Even on my leg, it worked great. So I'll say this, like, if you are wondering if the mouse controls on Switch 2 are worth a damn, they are. Like, I think they will work great for, I haven't played, like, Civ or anything like that trying to use them, but they should work great for any of that type of stuff. Real-time strategy games, 4X strategy games, it should work awesome, I think. So I've been really impressed with how the mouse controls work on the Switch 2. Unfortunately, they're put into a game that just isn't all that fun or isn't all that deep, and I kind of lost interest after I played it for like a day. The game's only like $15, so it's not like it costs all that much, but I don't think it's even worth that. This game, just like the Welcome Tour, should have been a free game, I feel like. This isn't going to move Switch 2 units. This isn't going to do anything. This is going to piss people off more than anything else. But there you go. That's Drag and Drive. It is a Switch 2 exclusive. You cannot play this on Switch 1 because obviously the Switch 1 does not have the mouse controls and the sensors that the Switch 2 Joy-Con do. It was moderately entertaining, but like a lot of games, ultimately when you have to play with other people, that's when it starts to suck. And there's really no single player in this. Like, you can start a match and just like have pickup games in between the official games if you want to, with just people who are hanging out on the court. But otherwise, this is a very rigid structure, and you have to play the games very specifically against 3-on-3. You can't pick the players. Like, there's a public lobby and a friends lobby, so if you want to play with friends, you go into this whole other room that you go into, and I didn't have any friends playing this, so I couldn't go there and play. So I ended up in the public lobby, and so you just end up playing with a bunch of randos who are not interested in winning or passing the ball. You can see over and over, I'm putting my hand up. And that's all motion controls too. So we hold the Joy-Con in the air to call for the ball. So there's some kind of cool stuff like that, but ultimately, I don't know what Nintendo was thinking with this game, Matt. Like, this is one of those games that we would see from Nintendo, and it would never come out. Mm-hmm. Or it would end up being rolled into some other game where it's just like a mini game or something like that. I don't know what Nintendo was on when it decided to greenlight this.
There is a world where this is like a Mario Party minigame that causes a firestorm of backlash because they like put the Mario characters in wheelchairs for one minigame or something. It feels like one of those things where somebody figured out in kind of the noodling around tech messing around lab stuff that they figured out. I was like, oh, you can do this.
They're like, it's a wheelchair, and it is.
I mean, there wasn't really anything else you could do with it. Like, you can't adapt the Nintendo characters to be, disabled.
Wheelchair basketball players.
There's no way to do that cleanly.
Yeah.
So maybe just figured, like, let's try like a Rocket League sort of thing with it.
It was a mistake. I don't know why it spent so much time and resources on this, but it was a mistake.
They got the resources.
Yeah, they're rolling in money. I wish they would experiment with something different than this, though. When I talk about like Nintendo's innovation, this is not what I'm talking about, Matt.
But at the same time, I think I'll take this over Labo.
Yeah, that's true. That is a good point. I will take something like this over Labo, something you actually play versus something that's just like a gimmicky whatever. So there you go. That's Drag and Drive.
It looks better than Wii Music.
It's definitely better than Wii Music. I mean, here's the thing. Like, for what it is, it's well executed. Mm-hmm. It's a typical Nintendo product. The craftsmanship is great.
Are there other like venues or something?
I never saw any other than that.
Big gray blob.
Because it's not just about the court; it's about the whole area. And so they wouldn't just be able to make just the court; they'd have to make the whole thing. And so probably that'll be what DLC is. There'll be courts and other like lobbies that you can go to. But as of right now, that's the only one I ever saw. So there you go. That's Drag and Drive, a Switch 2 exclusive. It's very cheap, but I would not spend the money on it. I would just steer clear, pun intended. All right. With that, it's time for the lightning round. That's right. Our lightning round is where we go through some of the biggest stories in games for the week that weren't quite big enough to be their own topics in GameFace. And with Gamescom going on right now, we have a gigantic... Oh, and we're already way over time. I guess I talked about Drag and Drive a little bit too long, so we got to get through this stuff really, really fast. This is really going to be a lightning round, Matt.
We talked about Gamescom too long. Really.
Probably, yeah. That's probably the truth of it all.
We talked about Gamescom for almost as long as the show.
Yeah.
Was Gamescom show.
I mean, this is our Gamescom episode.
Yeah,
so,
I guess so.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of games to talk about. It wasn't just one. But anyway, here we
Keely's
go.
not the only one that can stretch it out for 2 hours.
That is true. Our first story in the lightning round, Matt, we got news this morning that the PlayStation 5, all versions of the PlayStation 5, the price has been increased by $50 today in the United States. So you may remember there have been price increases for the PlayStation 5 before, but they were all in other territories. We were shielded from that in the United States until today. Now the PlayStation 5 base is $550, or wait, yeah, $550. And the PlayStation 5 Pro is now $750. And Sony's rationale was, quote unquote, troubling economic conditions. What could that mean, Matt?
There's no way to know.
Yeah, how would we ever know what is causing all these economic conditions?
Impossible to tell.
Yeah, I would never know what that might be. What could
be any of 1,000 things.
What could have happened in the last 5 or 6 months to cause these horrible economic conditions that we're all living under, Matt?
The world may never find out.
Because surely it can't be someone that was elected after we told everybody that this was going to happen. Surely they listened to us and knew that we were right about that.
Sounds like their stockpile ran out.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. Everybody knew this was going to happen because Trump was a douchebag the last time he was president, and they stockpiled as many units as they could in warehouses in the United States. And now they've sold through all those units, and now they have to start paying the tariffs. And now we all get to pay $50 more for PlayStation 5. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I got in there under
You did. You really got in under
radar.
Yeah. This is huge. I mean, the PlayStation is the leader in the space. So this is going to hurt sales of the leader in the space.
At this rate, I think we're lucky if the next PlayStation is less than $1,000.
I'm starting to feel that way.
Tariff or no tariffs. The components just cost too much.
People are really starting to go after Pactor for saying that PlayStation 6 is going to cost at least $800. It's like, what world are you living in, man?
I don't see how it costs anything
How could it be
less.
cheaper than PS5 Pro?
Yeah.
How? You tell me.
Yeah.
So anyway...
Because presumably it's going to be more powerful than the PS5 Pro, right? So how does it not cost more? I mean,
Anyway.
it would be a very expensive situation even if there were no tariff issues. Because these things just are getting more and more expensive.
Well, I mean, they were $500 at launch. Yeah. I mean, that's still a lot, but that's manageable. But $750 is not manageable.
But $700 isn't manageable.
Yeah,
either.
It's not.
So then what does the next one cost? What's in the Pro that is $200 more than the vanilla?
I don't know.
And then what's in the 6 that makes it better than the Pro that doesn't make it $800? I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, there'd have to be a massive currency adjustment.
Yeah. Well, we do have to move on.
It has nothing to do with game consoles. So
yep.
I don't know. I don't see a way we avoid $800, $900 PS6s here.
Yep. Next story in the lightning round. We got to move fast. I got a prediction right, Matt. Mm-hmm. Rod Ferguson was leaving Diablo. I said, he's going to handle BioShock 4, and sure enough, he's going to finish BioShock 4.
I'm going to go cut some limbs off BioShock 4, get that sucker out the door.
Officially announced this week, he is going to work at 2K to finish BioShock 4, which is exactly why Strauss Zelnick was like, we're still making the game, it's going to be fine. He knew at that moment that Rod Ferguson was coming there to finish the game. So there you go. Rod Ferguson, who quote unquote saved the last BioShock, has rolled into town to try to save the next BioShock, and hopefully it'll work. We'll see.
I mean, it's the last... Infinite sold really well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he saved it
from being a better game.
Yeah, but it got out the door.
And they made a lot of money on it.
It did the job.
Yep. Next up, in the lightning round, this is really a lightning round this week. How do you feel about the fact that the developers working on Marvel Rivals have been given the agency to create their own Marvel heroes and villains for Marvel Rivals?
That's stupid.
Are you effing kidding me?
No one cares about your original character. Do not steal, dude. We want to play Marvel characters.
Are you
There are
kidding
literally
me?
thousands of Marvel characters. Make them and put them in the game.
But just give it... Why would Marvel give these people the ability to create new Marvel characters?
I don't know. I think they do like Luna Snow. I think they're pretty happy with that K-pop character that they added. But the idea that you would be making original characters here instead of the only thing I can think is maybe they're like, hey, if you want to make the really horny stuff, make your own people and don't do it to our characters. That's the only thing I can think of.
I mean, do you think maybe part of it is that a lot of the older people who have safeguarded this stuff for years are retiring now, and you're having the younger people step into those roles who aren't as tied to the old legacy stuff?
No.
No?
No.
You don't think that has anything to do with it?
None. I'm sure the dev team really wants to do that. I'll tell you what
I'm talking about the people at Marvel.
Right. I know.
Not the developers.
I know. But I'm saying the dev team really wants to do it. It's probably been bugging them about it. I think the biggest factor is probably K-pop Demon Hunters. That's it.
Which is huge.
That's the biggest original animation in Netflix history. It's getting a theatrical release. It's getting 2 sequels. It's getting a spin-off thing. It's gigantic. And Luna Snow is a K-pop star. That's kind of the aesthetic that this developer has gone for their original character. And Marvel doesn't really have anything in that space in the existing Marvel roster, so they're like, hey, if that's a thing we need to lean into now, make your own people.
Seems crazy.
That's the only thing I can think of in terms of what's
completely
going on.
loony. I don't know what Marvel's doing. Seems dumb. I would not let video game developers create characters for my frickin' universe.
I mean, they're not creating characters for their universe. You'll never see these characters.
I mean, they're not going to put them in a movie, but they're still Marvel characters.
You'll never see these characters again.
Again, you don't think at all in anything?
Why would you? They're just for this game.
That's still, to me,
when was the last time you saw any of the Imperfects?
Yeah.
They own tons of shit from video game original content that has never shown up again because nobody gives a shit. It's just another one of those things.
All right, we got to move on. Next up in the lightning round, gonna get a little selfish here. This week, Michael Pachter and Pachter Factor made the news cycle because he shared that EA told him that they are trying to turn Battlefield into an annual franchise, and people freaked out. Westy, all those big YouTubers, influencers jumped on it. Not one of them ever cited. Some of them didn't even say where they got the information from. They didn't even say, like, there's this show where this guy said this. They just started talking about it like it was just assumed knowledge. So he blows up. His comments blow up. The episode where he says stuff doesn't do anything because influencers and YouTubers don't cite sources. Like, I went to Westy's or somebody's video about it, and, like, he didn't even have in the clip description a link to the episode. He just acted like he made up the information. I'm like, what is going on? Even when stuff happens for us, it doesn't happen for us. It's so frustrating. But anyway, Pachter was a thing this week. In fact, I can't talk too much about the behind-the-scenes stuff, but there was also, after this started blowing up, there was some behind-the-scenes stuff happening that I'm not going to talk about that got a little weird. But anyway, Pachter made the news cycle this week. It didn't do us any good. Next up in the lightning round, I'm going to skip this one because we just don't have time. Maybe we'll talk about Kirby Air Riders in next week's show because they did a direct for Kirby Air Riders that was gigantic. Also, dial-up internet, RIP. That made me sad this week. But the last thing we're going to talk about in this week's lightning round is that Shenmue 3 is getting an enhanced version, Matt. What would they have to do to Shenmue 3 to make it more palatable to people?
Well, exactly what they're doing. They let you turn off the stamina.
All they are.
Yeah, the stamina is getting basically adjustment on it.
I didn't see that, actually.
That's the only important part of this story.
It really is.
You'll be able to turn the stamina off.
Because all I saw was like better visuals and like a new mini game or some crap.
There's tweaks to the gameplay, and one of them is turning the stamina off. There's like tweaks to the damage in the fighting. Like you can tweak the thing to be more like what you want it to be.
Okay.
And if you let me turn the stamina bar off, I will play this game again.
I will not.
Because again, I got like an hour into it.
Yeah.
And I just could not.
Yeah.
Could not.
I'm good. Even if they took the stamina out, I still think this is a crap game.
It's very weird that they're going. I mean, it says to me that maybe they're actually considering another one.
I think they are.
Because
it was just bought by a new publisher.
Yeah.
And this is them like trying to put the bobber in the water to see if people bite.
I mean, you know what would do better is a remasters of the first two that aren't terrible, because those remasters they released around the same time as this were not very good.
No, you're right. I agree. Yep. So anyway, Shenmue 3...
Those games haven't aged well, but the first two are definitely better than this.
Yeah. So another version of Shenmue 3 is coming along, and hopefully you guys don't buy this one either, because based upon what they said they're going to do to enhance it, it's not good enough for me.
I mean, it's not going to fix the story, but at least it'll get rid of the stamina bar.
Even just the gameplay, it just felt the whole game just felt like a piece of crap.
There's tweaks to the combat, so maybe it'll feel more like the old ones. Like, again... This is another thing where I'm like, I don't know why you changed so much stuff in this thing. The games were fine.
Yeah, you could make another Shenmue like the old games. I think they just couldn't do it with the resources they had. I think they did the best they could with what they had.
Recreating that sort of pseudo Virtua Fighter combat in a new engine maybe was just not possible.
Not going to happen.
It wasn't up to snuff.
Yep. All right. That does it for the lightning round, which means there's just one thing left to do. That's right. It's time for Name That Game Tune, brought to you by Soundwizardry.com, where I play 5 samples from a video game, audio samples, and you try to guess the name of the game before Matt Keil. A couple things before we get going. If you've won this year, do not play. You cannot win again. If you do not play PC games, do not play, because we give away a PC game for people who win. And then finally, the chat goes into slow mode, so do not spam the chat with a bunch of random game titles. You will lose. All right, Matt, let me get your...
Unless you call the game before.
Right.
We play the sound.
Unless you're clairvoyant and you know before we even play the sample.
Which has only happened once, but it's weird it happened.
Ever.
At all.
It really is bizarre. All right, let me bring up the name. I'm glad we're able to do this. All right, I got the headphones up. I think you're good. Are you guys ready to play Name That Game Tune? Thanks to Soundwizardry.com, the absolute wizards in sound, of all sound, of game sound, of TV show sound, of film sound. Go to Soundwizardry.com. They will make your project better. I promise you. Let's go. Here's the first sample. In 3, 2, 1. Any guesses? Life is Strange 1? No. Bloodborne? No.
Control.
Control? No. That's a good guess. Turning Point, Fall of Liberty. Okay, you guys are awesome. But no. The Walking Dead? No. Sniper Elite Resistance? No. RE4? No. Titanfall? No. And I'm sorry, YouTube crew, that we only do this on Twitch. But you can jump over on that chat if you want to play.
Homefront 2.
No, that would be really sly on me, though. Any other guesses on that first one? And I realize it's very simple and it doesn't generate a lot of guesses. Win Back? No.
Does kind of sound like Win Back.
Uh-huh. I can totally get that. The Evil Within?
I only
No.
didn't guess Win Back because the sound, I think, was too high quality.
Yeah, that's stereo. Yeah. The Evil Within? No. Any other guesses on the first one?
That weren't fitting on no cartridge.
No, that's true. All right, going once. Going twice. All right, here's the second sample. Red Dead Redemption? No. Although I almost did Red Dead Redemption. That's funny. But that's not it. Here's the second sample. In 3, 2, 1. Alan Wake 2? No.
Sleeping Dogs.
Not Sleeping Dogs. Resistance Fall of Man? No. Half-Life 2, I'm guessing. Type them out, people. You can't use acronyms. Half-Life 2, I'm guessing that's what you're asking. No. Outlaws from LucasArts? No. Apex Legends? No. Black Ops? No. Mafia Definitive. The Definitive Edition.
Yeah,
It
very
sounded.
important.
The Definitive Edition sounded different, but no. Evil West? No. Any other guesses before we move on? Going once. Call of Juarez? No. Going twice. Uncharted 1? No. Going thrice. All right. The Gun? No. Optimus Co-Prime? Not Gun. All right. Here comes the third one. In 3, 2, 1.
You're safe. For now.
Resident Evil 2.
Not Resident Evil 2. Gears 1? No. The Thing, the movie, the game? No. Cyberpunk? No. The Darkness 2? Nope. Days Gone? No. Expedition 33? No. Back for Blood? No. Any other guesses? RE7? No. Black? No. Not Deathloop. Lots of guesses from this one. My Cousin Pedro? Nope. Any last guesses? All right, here we go to the fourth one. I think someone's going to get it from this one. We'll see. And here it is in 3, 2, 1. Never Dead, no. Resident Evil, no. Any other guesses? Dead Space, no.
Prototype 2.
No. They pulled that one out of the files. Gears of War 2, no. Dead Space, no. Sekiro, no. Dave, you sending me those coupons yet for the chicken sandwiches? Sekiro, no. Sekiro. The Last of Us 2, no. Gears of War 3, no. Wow, we're gonna make. I think we may make it to the last sample. Callisto Protocol, no. 2 Callisto Protocol guesses. Nope. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, no.
Chronicles of Riddick.
Nope. It's not. The last one's gonna give it away, so I'm just gonna say get your fingers on the keyboards. The Saboteur, no. I made sure somebody was gonna win this week. Any last guesses before we go on to the 5th one and the final one? Going once. Going twice. Shadow of the Demand. That's great. It's not Shadow of the Damned. Commander Keen for Goodbye Galaxy, no. Shadow of the Demand. That's really funny for some reason. All right, here we go with the last sample. I'm just telling everybody, get your fingers on the keyboard right now. Resident Evil 2. Someone already guessed that already. That's not it. And here's the last sample in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, well, I was supposed to start last week, and I got a call to stay away. I wish I'd come here sooner.
Not Resident Evil 4 Remake.
But that is Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Not Resident Evil 2 Remake. Somebody guess it. Mafia, no. Dead Rising 4, no. We have a winner, finally, Mr. Starwalker. It is Resident Evil 3. Everybody guessed everything but Resident Evil 3. I think they guessed every Resident Evil but Resident Evil 3.
Who is that?
Leon was the last sample right there.
Leon's not Resident Evil 3.
What?
That's...
I wonder if I had the clips mislabeled.
That's Resident Evil 2.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
It was the RE2 remake.
Because the guy who says you're safe now is the copy finds.
Yeah, it is. You're right. No, you're right.
I knew what that was.
But wait, did somebody say RE2 before you?
I said, no.
I thought somebody did.
No, the first Resident Evil 2 was the guess of the guy like later, and you said someone already guessed it, but that was me.
Wait a minute. RE4. No, I guess you're right. I guess you did win. Yeah. Yeah, nobody ever guessed it until much later. Mm. Yeah, you did win it. All right. I had my clips mislabeled, I guess, in the folder. It was labeled as RE3, but it was actually RE2. 3
is Jill.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. My apologies for that, but still, Matt won. So, congratulations, Matt.
3.
Yeah.
2. 3 is 3.
Yep. Rigged. Actually, it was the opposite of rigged because, if anything, I tried to not give Matt the win. My apologies, but Matt did win it fair and square. Ultimately, it was RE2, and he guessed it like right away, pretty much, just from the handgun shots. Because that first sample was just handgun.
No, I guessed it on the third one.
Oh, it was the third one?
It was after the guy said, "You're safe now," because I remembered that was when he finds the wounded guy in the main section of the police station.
I thought you guessed it before that, actually.
No, I did not guess that.
Oh, okay. All right, well, there you go. That's Name That Game Tune, brought to you by Soundwizardry.com. I completely screwed that up, but still the right person won, luckily, because it could have got real messy, honestly, if it did not work out that way. All right, that's going to do it for GameFace episode 447 right here on Sifted Games at sifted.net. A reminder, we are supported at patreon.com/sifted. That's SIFTD. For just $5 a month, you get all our content early. For $2 a month, you get Pactor Factor early, but... if If you help us out with Twitch Prime, if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, if you're watching on YouTube, go down below in the clip description to figure out how to do that right now. If you help us out with that, you get Pack or Factor a week early at our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/SiftedGames, and you give us a free $2.50. If you don't have Amazon Prime, you can still help us a ton of other ways. You can like this show. You can comment on this show. Please do that stuff. I know I ask it every week. You guys are slipping, though. You're not doing it anymore, and it matters. You can look at the views of our episode, and you can see that they dipped a little bit because you guys are not liking and commenting on the show. It absolutely matters. That's how people who are already subscribing to our channel get the episode into their feed, is when you guys like it and comment on it. So we'd appreciate it if you could do that very, very much. We'll be back next week. We got, Shinobi next week. There's a Gears of War Reloaded, I think, is for next week. Yeah, we have another big show next week. And then from the rest of the year on, it's just going to rock. There is just awesome games coming out pretty much until December. But then, as Matt pointed out, we have the Game Awards, which saves our ass every damn year. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great week filled with great games. GameFace is up and out.